Man, TikTok never wants to play my shit anymore, dude. I don't get it. I am doing my best. I am doing my level best, and every day won't add my cameras. If I mention I'm multi-streaming, go fuck yourself. Get out of here. If I mention that I have a Twitch account, you're directing people off the platform. Get the fuck out of here. Commander deck reviews. I'm not directing anybody off the platform. I'm just trying to stream the business. Okay. TikTok's up. A picture of Jin Sakai is up. What's up, keyboard? How was the job fair? Trover, welcome back to life. So what we're going to talk about at the beginning of stream today, while we wait for our roasties, which the roasties today are Wolf is first. So it's going to be Wolf, then Play Mike Sucks, and then there is just somebody named Michael who did not fill out the Google form with a name matching their Ko-Fi name, so I don't know who they are, but there's somebody named Michael. Bone Lord, I did not forget about you. I'm extending temp bans to the end of stream for that day. You knew the details didn't matter and you were being pedantic anyway, and so you got sent to hell. Now you're free. So we're gonna talk about... Oh yeah, Chimera, I do think I missed the holiday stuff for Final Fantasy. I missed looking at those. Blue Pengy, thank you for the 3 months with that Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars. So we're going to talk about Jin Sakai because Alec Man, who is one of our roasties today, was asking about it in Dear Malltown. Hey, Austin on YouTube. It's going pretty good. YouTube changed the layout, so I'm going to hope it doesn't fuck with anything else I'm trying to do. No, cards are not supposed to be on, but so here's the new rule for cards. I talked about this in Dear Malltown. I'm going to try to remember to turn them off on streams where we're not doing custom cards. If I forget and you buy them, points are gone. If I forget and you buy them, then I didn't forget and it was a trick. You've been flummoxed. You have been bamboozled. You have been robbed. You have been hoodwinked. The lambskin has been pulled over your eyes. Because frankly, it's so few points that I don't care. Exactly, White Bread. If you just like clicking buttons, go off. Click your buttons. Click your buttons. But yeah, so you can just click on them. If you want to buy them to flex on the pores, absolutely do that too. Absolutely, yes. Jin looks like a similar but different Squall. Alright, hold on, old head. Bro looks the same if he was different. Bro looks like that other guy if he looked like a different guy. I disagree even with the intent of your statement, because Squall really wants to play control, and you can play this guy as control, but you super don't have to. I don't think he's close in design though. I think they both have creatures that can have double strike. I think that's about as close as it gets. And then Chesabel, thank you for the tier 1 sub for the 2nd month in a row. Welcome back to the dog home. Yeah, we can start doing a new big channel points redeem. Okay, so oh yeah, we're doing Discord Prestige. Like, we're gonna add ranks to the Discord role. Hello, Jace's cat. Alright, so anyway, hello, Rowan. Shadow Killian, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home. So here's what I doubt about Jin Sakai being a great ninjas commander. What would make ninjas good for me is double strike. I do not think the unblockability is enough, because the thing that typically falls flat about ninja decks is you go, ha 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 ha, I've cheated my ninja in. And if it's not a ninja like Yuriko, who will just explode the fucking board, and it is instead a normal ninja, like the ninja of Deep Hours, you just go, alright, I got 1 card, you took 2 damage, pass. If we were giving this guy double strike, that's quite good. If we were if this was just, I build a different way to give my ninjas evasion, and then I give all my ninjas double strike, double striking every single ninja trigger, that can get pretty good. Because I think there's like, I don't remember this guy's full name. Holy fuck, dude. All right. Has to be EDH rec rank. Maybe it's Demon Blade Oni? That sounds relevant in my head. Fucking hell. There's one like 6-mana ninja that can rob people. Oh, Fallen Shinobi. Here's one of them. Zerthroshak, thank you for the Prime sub for the 2nd month in a row. And to Blue Pengy, the subathon is not still going on. Yeah, Jono, like you can Voltron this guy, and then you can be like every other Esper Voltron commander. I'm making custom cards for my boyfriend for Christmas. They're not real cards, so does the deck icon matter? Absolutely not, Haley, and that's so sweet of you. I wish you the very best of luck. We're actually doing a custom card review stream tomorrow if you want to try to submit them, but you do have to be on Twitch for that. But either way. So for Jin, for Standoff and Ghost, like, making this guy unblockable is nice, but I'm not really giving a shit until I'm double. If I'm double striking with this guy, then I'm happy. So you could do a thing where you gave like, okay, I'm going to also Elk. Thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home. Silent Blade Oni. Yeah. So let's talk about those two. If I was gonna build a Jin Sakai deck, I would probably get other ways to make them unblockable. So I would do like Wonder into my graveyard, Filth into my graveyard, Urborg, so that everything had a swamp, so that I could have Swamp Walk. And then if I go like, okay, I am double striking Silent Blade Oni, I'm double striking Fallen Shinobi, that's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. But if I'm just using it as a way to get my ninjas in the first place, all the non-Yuriko payoffs are just not good enough for it to feel very... Fuck, now I want to build this. We can't do that. We have other people's decks to look at. I mean, I think Unstoppable Slasher is fine. It just doesn't feel like fun to me. It's just not, it's not the play pattern I give that much of a shit about. I think it's the type of play pattern that looks crazy on a YouTube short, and then you play it in paper and everyone just goes, eh. It's a YouTube short deck for that. I think there's a different deck you could build where they're part of it, but I think that being like, this is the primary thing we're doing does not spark very much joy. Geo, they're up. They went up at noon. I did them on time. So yeah, you could do because the thing about Unstoppable Slasher is it just seems like this just seems like a really good thing to play to threaten people's life totals. And so you probably have to do, I need interaction for Jin Sakai, because my entire fucking game plan relies on Jin Sakai not being dead. Troper, what unarmed priest got shot? We're gonna go to the ad break anyway, but you're subscribed, so you won't get banished. If you're on Twitch, you're gonna get banished for like 3 minutes, and then we're gonna get into the deck roasting. Kaiser Glider, question. If Mauled were to roast one of my decks, do I have to be present in Twitch chat or can I be present in the YouTube chat? You can be present in any chat. So the thing that gets everybody confused is only the Twitch chat appears on stream. But I'm streaming to multiple places, I'm watching all of those places, and I will have a back and forth with you on any platform, but I can get in trouble with Twitch if I'm displaying non-Twitch chats on the stream itself. So Kaiser, I see you. We have Shaper has gotten, I think, 2 decks roasted, and they've been in YouTube chat every time. We've had other people who are roasted via YouTube chat. I can see your comments. I reply to your comments. I'm just trying to not get permabanned. Hey, Monty, thank you so much. Yes, I can get in trouble if I spend too much time replying to a non-Twitch chat, but it really just like their only words were, I think a majority of the time has to be spent on Twitch. So that could be 51%. So McKaylee TTV on TikTok, there's three ways to have me look at your deck. We do a free roast stream every month. The one for this month has not been scheduled yet. It'll probably be in the back half of the month. Or at the beginning of every month, we sell commissions on Ko-Fi. We sell like 30 to 40 at the beginning of every month, and you buy a day to come to stream to get your deck looked at. Or if you have a lot of money and no patience, you can spend $500 and on the spot, I will roast your deck. Terrence, the custom card submissions went live on Ko-Fi at the beginning of the stream. And Gerald, I leave them open because in the hierarchy of things I pay attention to, a 100 channel point redeem that does nothing just gets no attention, frankly. It's and now I'm doing it as a bit where I'm like, ha ha ha, it's a trap. I took your channel points. But really, it's because if somebody buys it and they don't get anything, 100 channel points is so little that I don't give a fuck. Right? That feels fair. That feels pretty fair to me. If it was like a big yeah, and Michaela, hey, I get it. The 500 we did as a joke price, and then some people spent it. So now it's just there forever. Yeah, if I had like a 100,000 channel point redeem that was like Maul do a backflip, and I was like, I can't do a backflip today, guys, then I would go, I'm gonna refund your points. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. I should have turned it off before stream. But if it's like 100 channel points, which you get for like 2 minutes of watching, I'm like, cool, whatever. I'm thinking about other stuff. Oh, we've got our first rage baiter. Guys, Z's not feeling well today, so we would not be doing the joint roast stream. And I took that into account. Okay, first rage baiter of the stream. D's Nuts on TikTok says, is Trump still your king? Crown crying emoji. If you are a European and you are just so disillusioned by how the American political system is going, and you're like trying to poke fun at it as like dumb American, you're still under Trump's rule. Yes, and it sucks as bad as you think it does. And I hope that you reach out with more sympathy to the other people in your life. If you think I'm pro-Trump, that's crazy. You must have not watched a single piece of my content until now. You must have not watched a single fucking thing that I've ever made. I'm so far left, you get your guns back, dog. What are we talking about? Bait did used to be believable. Bait did used to be believable. Bosses, in your DM, short version is that ICE shot an unarmed priest with pepper balls for the crime of being in Chicago. I mean, that's what happens when you talk about law and order, but you don't want to train cops. And this is not like they're incompetent. A lot of people are like, oh, the administration's incompetent. The administration is incompetent in many ways, and when it comes to their enforcement mechanisms, they want their armed police forces to be untrained. They want them to be thugs. They want them to be fucking idiots who will over-escalate and will use force at the drop of a fucking hat. Like I believe they are trained implicitly to do that by the communities that they exist in, but the point is to recreate the fucking brown shirts. Yes, unseasoned, but somebody talked about politics, so now I'm speaking my shit really quick. But the point is for Trump to create his own version of the brown shirts and just have a bunch of angry young white guys who are walking around beating the shit out of people and killing people. And they want it to be this type of unreliable, hyper violent enforcement. Not very long, Alec, man. Anyway, back to Jin Sakai, which is what we were opening the stream with, Alec man. I'm a little bit I'm gonna at least try to build something for this. Is anybody subscribed to the Patreon in Twitch chat? Would you want to see a well-built version of this deck? Because I'll do it. I'll make it happen. But I think what you would have to do is you wouldn't care very much about the unblockability. I would care a lot more about the double strike and double striking the best ninjas. I do not think I would do it as a pure ninja deck. I think it would be Jin Sakai and his goons. And okay. I'm not going to delve back into specific politics, but we are going to respond to one more thing. And it's Bat Mantis on YouTube. Here for Magic and getting politics, nah. I understand that urge. I will say my type of content is not the motherfucker you should be watching, because first and foremost, I am attempting to be a comedian, and comedy is always political 100% of the time. It can be in very, very small ways, but everything I try to make jokes about, everything I try to make the butt of a joke, everything I try to like defend through humor, these are all political things. And I'm always going to be doing it. I may not always be talking directly about Trump. I may not always be talking directly about Nancy Pelosi, but I am always bringing it back to some type of belief that ties into my politics. And so if you just want straight magic, find a different channel, because my stuff is always going to be opinionated magic commentary, and as soon as you have opinionated commentary in it, politics are a part of it. Gerald, I don't think I'd make an infect deck. Maul, do you listen to Korn? I used to when I was a teenager. Hey, thank you, Joshua Booty Baker. I appreciate your kind words. I have not compared this to Kamiz. I think Kamiz is like you pick one and it gets unblockable, and you pick one and it gets double strike. Oh no, something can't be blocked. It connives. Then a different thing that's weaker gets double strike. Yeah, this is the easy bake oven Kamiz. Holy shit. Rubik's Cube meet dodgeball. Just throw it at everyone, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm building this guy. Jarther, thank you for 20-bit cheer. Just spent 30 minutes getting my cat unstuck from 50 feet up a tree. Now they get to be stuck in the house for a while. So real. DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. I would never inject politics into Magic. Who the fuck keeps mentioning Brian Thompson in their removal section? Not me. I just built a Go deck. What's your opinion on the mechanic? I will answer that in one moment. Do we have Wolf? Do we have Play Mike Sucks? And do we have the unnamed Michael, who bought a commission for today and, as far as I can tell, did not reply to the Google sheet? I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima. I have played God of War, and the God of War commanders do seem cool. Different Wolf, yeah. Not you, Wolfgrave. Wolf slays. Maybe we play it. I do want to try to play more variety games. How do we feel about the Relentless Predator Jaws? Seems good. It seems like a very good bracket 2 commander to be like, hey guys, this game is fucking ending. This game is fucking ending, you guys. That's awesome. Gerald, there will be okay. Wolfslays is here. Play Mike sucks. Are you here? Um, if my politics don't align close enough with yours, should I leave the channel? I think it depends a lot on the ways in which our politics don't align. Because the way I talk about my politics on stream is typically these really like loud, boisterous statements, because that's the easiest way to get things across. But I think that most people have a lot of the same fears and have a lot of the same problems. And the thing that leads to us having different politics is how were we propagandized as we grew up? Like, I think a lot of people right now, the belief system that our politics boils down to is we're being robbed. We all know that. That's happening. We're being robbed. The political difference typically comes from on the left and right. They talk about an elite class taking money away from you. The right now is typically also layering in the immigrants are taking money away from you. Never mind all of the actual math and counting they've done about how much immigrants contribute to our economy and how few crimes immigrants commit compared to citizens. They're folding in immigrants as being one of the problems with that. And then there's other stuff like another, I would say, core universal belief is we want children to be safe and happy. Only internet rage baiters are going to disagree with that statement, right? On the right, we typically get the way we keep children safe and happy. A core part of keeping children safe and happy is making sure that none of them are trans, because that's bad somehow. A core part of it is we have to tell them America is awesome, because they hear about all the ways America is bad, like all of the bad things our country has done. They're going to be really sad. This is where we start to get into pretty significant disagreements. And I'm not going to get into the weeds of what it looks like for a child to think they are trans, because when we say child, you know, it can be like a 5-year-old who wants to dress up a different way that day, or it can be a 17-year-old who's been going to therapy for years and years and years. There are too many specific cases for me to talk about it with any degree of reasonability. So I will say, as a flat basis, if you think being trans isn't a thing, then yeah, get out. Those are one of the very hard lines in the sand. If you think that gender dysphoria doesn't exist, or if you think that gender dysphoria is just people being crazy or people wanting attention, or that people should not be allowed to medically transition ever, yes, get out. There's a lot of other political disagreements that I think are stemming from like the same core fears that we're not going to talk about in the middle of a deck roasting stream. But I'm not going to try to be like, you think wrong, get the fuck out of here. I think there's things where I can talk to you about them and we can hopefully come to a place of, hey, how do we hurt less people? But there's a couple lines in the sand where I'm like, nope, you gotta fucking go. And one of those lines is thinking that being trans is in any way wrong, thinking that being allowed to medically transition is wrong. If you agree with how ICE is currently operating, like if you agree with denying people due process and allowing armed, untrained thugs to kill priests in the fucking street just because they have an ICE badge on, yeah, you got to get out. There's a lot of other stuff that I'm sure will be hard lines that I'm actively trying to not think about because I don't want to spend 2 hours just listing like a laundry list of stuff. But there's a ton of other stuff where we can talk about, yeah, we're being robbed. How does this relate to internal fiscal policy? How does this relate to, you know, who I should vote for in my upcoming mayoral election? I appreciate your candor, but wouldn't you want those people who think those things to hear your words? I would, but the difficulty is that we're so far apart that I understand I am not close enough to affect that person. The most I can ever be, the most I can ever be to that person is a voice on the internet. And if somebody is that radicalized, they need somebody who is closer to them to be their first step. Maybe I can say something to them way down the line. Maybe I can introduce an example that will change something, but I just don't have the level of personal connection I would need to have to make them actually be curious about changing their perspective. They're just gonna go like, dumb fucking leftist talking about fucking being woke and shit. And so I think it's more valuable to ardently defend the community that has invested faith in me than it is to try really hard to reach out to somebody who I just can't get to. And then there's also the thing of the paradox of tolerance, where if you allow wolves and sheep into your community, hey, you're only going to have wolves. And so if somebody comes in preaching something actively hateful, preaching something that I think is actively causing harm to other members of my community, yeah, you just got to get the fuck out. If we're in here having disagreements on a shared premise of we're not going to deny the fact that the other person exists, and we're not going to actively degrade or actively call for like fucking harm to be done against the other person, then we can come and have disagreements. Yeah, then we can talk. Oh, the priest lived. Good. Okay. So you can only if you're only down with unarmed, untrained thugs nearly killing a priest in the street. Also, Alvius Fur, thank you for the sub. Anonymous, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. And Triple Mango Threat, thank you for the 11 months in a row. If you like any of the long-form YouTube videos, give claps for Mango. They are the editor. They will be editing today's stream, minus all the political stuff. And Elpoc, I agree with that. And that's part of why I try to draw hard lines about some things and past that allow for integration. DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Boss, I came for the toxic jokes, stayed for the toxic jokes, and to make sinister whispers in your ear, but also because you appreciate the Brian Thompson jokes and the Private C. Kirk joke from yesterday. Much love. Thank you, DMC. Okay. I think we're caught up. Zerthroshak, thank you for the 500-bit cheer. I do appreciate you making this statement. My husband and I met the year gay marriage was legalized. We're about to celebrate our 10th anniversary as a couple and have to worry about whether our marriage is still going to be legal in the next few years. See, exactly. There's shit like that. Like, that's another hard line. If you think gay people should not be allowed to be married, if you think being gay is some type of mental illness, yeah, get the fuck out. We can't relate to each other in enough of a way for us to talk through disagreements. But I'm very happy to hear about your 10th anniversary, and I hope your legal union is preserved. Okay. How would you recommend a card? I've been making a Zaxara deck and was wondering your thoughts on Zaxara as a commander if you were done talking about Jin Sakai, that is. Zaxara has the benefit of you are in Sultai and it makes mana, like straight up. A lot of people do Zaxara for Hydras. Just do anything expensive you like. Genuinely anything expensive that you enjoy and it will work. I think Zaxara can be a really fun commander that people too often shoehorn into just being, oh my god, I went infinite, oh my god, I made a really big Hydra, oh my god, job done. Where do I find the follow-up stuff for the deck roast I bought? Chessabelle, you find that in the post-purchase message of Ko-Fi. If obviously you've left the purchase screen, I think if you go to your Ko-Fi account and go to like your notifications, the like purchase confirmation should have it. Matthew, Jin Sakai, yes, Jin Sakai is a real card. Play Mike sucks, you're here, perfect. All right, so we have Wolf, we have Play Mike sucks. We do not have the unnamed Michael. If you are the unnamed Michael who bought, or I know your last name, but I'm not gonna say your full name. If you are the Michael who bought the deck roast on Ko-Fi and then did not submit the Google form, please sound off. We can either have you DM it or put it into your Maldhound or something, and it'll be good. Average Joe and miscellaneous Mike. Is it Michael with extremely specific last name? It's pretty specific. Let me go look. I'll go look at the commission history, but I remember looking at it and being like, oh yeah, it's not like Mike Hawk or something like that. Show more. Wait, where is this? Where is this purchase? Okay. So there's Elikman's. Elikman was the first to buy. There's Wolf's. There's Play Mike sucks. Oh fuck, it's Matthew. It's not even Michael. We're not looking for Mystery Michael. We're looking for Mystery Matthew. That's my fucking bad. It's not you, Play Mike sucks. Play Mike sucks. I was able to find and get your deck ahead of time. I'm also scheduled for today, right? Cairo, are you Matthew? Are you Mystery Matthew? Okay, Cairo Kyoto is Mystery Matthew. Yeah, because on the Ko-Fi purchase, it just has your government name. And then no. So here's the disconnect. You filled out the form. On the Ko-Fi purchase, it just has your government name. And then on the form fill out, it just has your handle. And I have no way to connect the two. Because it doesn't give me like, yeah, you filled it out. But your email, like the Ko-Fi purchase doesn't give me your email. It doesn't give me what day you bought it for. I have your info though. So you're gonna go third. We're gonna do Wolf, we're gonna do Play Mike sucks, then we're gonna do you, because Elikman can't go until 2. So we're gonna finish it off with Elikman. Yeah, Cairo. So that's a thing. I will probably just add a section to the form where I'm like, what's your Ko-Fi name? What is your Ko-Fi name? So that we get around this. DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. How do you feel about Planetary Annihilation? I love we're getting non-MLD responses to Mono Green / Simic Ramp. I think it's dope as fuck. I think it's very good. Vestiakin, thank you for the Twitch follow. I need to pee now. And then Wolf. Vluran, I'm doing good. How are you doing today? How are you doing today, my beautiful little bear? My beautiful little goat? We're gonna open up Wolf's deck. This is my self-mill Golgari deck in a Sultai trench coat. Alright, Taval player. Alright. I'd say it's a spooky, scary deck leaning more towards spooky. It aims to win off Jarad and big creatures, a board of flying 2/2s, or pinging people with Ob Nixilis. An alternate win con. You already have 2 of those. An alternate win con is making people scoop with Gilt Leaf Archdruid. So we have a girlfriend goes to another school in Canada and is a model. Not impossible, but we're looking at like 1% that I like how this is going. Land theft is dope though. Fuck those people. God damn it. All right. All right, man. All right. You know what? I don't like how open my third eye is. So it is a Taval deck. Aether's Golem, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home. Let's, I need to piss now. I need to piss. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, let's get into it. Blizzy Brett, Ko-Fi is, it's like Patreon, but it's just a place we sell the deck reviews as a commission. Also, everybody on TikTok, my TikTok lives typically get taken down. We are streaming on Twitch and YouTube as well, Mauledhound on both of those. Feel free to jump over if you want to support me more or be able to watch the whole thing. I did wash my hands, Blake, with spit. Freaky style. Let's see. So we have composting. Oh my fucking god. Dude, it's like I'm being beaten to death by a Walmart greeter. What the fuck is this? Oh my fucking god. Alright, hey, at least we got an insect card in here. It's way too fat. Holy shit. Alright. Infinite. Very pleasant. Very pleasant. Mill. Okay. More mill. Yep, usual suspects. Bring in. I hate that you put in a pre-con backup commander. I cannot stand that you put in a pre-con backup commander to your fucking Sultai deck. My lands now, real. Ramp. I always love seeing a player's first interaction with being like, oh my god, the sword of X and Y triggers are really good. Oh my god, it's so good. Like it's not bad. It's just very funny. Hey, you get a basic. You get a basic. Recursion. Return 2 non-land. Graveyard to hand. Wolf, you gotta explain to me what the fuck the draft uncommon is doing getting Eiffel Towered by Marin and Muldrotha. What the fuck do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? Yeah, it's all heaters. I got Victimize, Marin, Timeless Witness, this fucking thing, Muldrotha, Breach the Universe. I pulled it! Unpull it! Push it! Alright, so we gotta talk. Tap tokens for mana? Yeah, Jaheira's not good enough for me either. Holy shit. Tokens. Okay. I'm beginning to understand. Untagged creatures. Exile target creature card. Sure, this is a little low power, but I don't. Oh, here it is. Okay. Alright. Alright, bop it, you fucking dumbass. You fucking fool. Untapped lands. Win con. Yep. Alright. Okay. We have 38 lands total. That's not unreasonable. Glacial Chasm, yeah, it doesn't really count because it doesn't, it's just an ability on a land rather than a thing that works as a land drop. So here is what I disagree with. I think we have spread ourselves a little bit too thin in terms of how we want to win, and all of the ways we want to win have to be I build a Lego tower. If you are going to have if you're going to have your main way to win be I build a Lego tower, which it currently is, I think it's the go wide plan, and that is like, I need Tival, I need to trigger Tival over and over and over again, or I need to get Avenger out, then I have to get Craterhoof. Okay, so main win is Jarad. So that means we have to get Jarad. Then I have to get one of my 2 just fucking gigantic guys. I guess we have 4. So Jarad, one of my 4 gigantic guys, and then I can do something. That is a very, very small amount of our deck. Like, if you were telling me I want this to be I win with Jarad, I would expect you to have like 10 targets that were very, very good for Jarad to sacrifice. I would expect you to have either a lot of tutors or a much better mill section. Like, a thing I want to draw your attention to, this is where you got by Factorio Brain. This is where Factorio Brain gets like every mid-power deck builder. Is you look at Crawling Sensation, you're like, oh my god, I can mill 2 cards a turn. Imagine what I could do. And like, instead, you could just go to Tumbler 1 time. You spend 2 mana. You have milled the same number of cards that you will have milled 5 turns deep with Crawling Sensation. Will you give a fuck about the 1/1s? You said you want to win with Jarad. Fuck the 1/1s. And so this is the type of stuff that if we want the deck to run smoother, genuinely, this is what we have to care about more. Renee, yes, I do, but I don't reply to stream comments as actively when I'm in the middle of making fun of a deck. I mean, we could do Ripples of Undeath, but like this, we have focused so much on value engines, and we've left out, frankly, dog, your entire self-mill section is cleared by Traumatize. Like, if we're talking about, I want to run smooth with a deck that is going to either, like, reanimate my big creatures or have a full graveyard to fuel my big creatures, you're out here doing all these things to assemble, like, 18 different ways to mill 1 card a turn. I'm casting 5 mana once, and I'm done. Like 5 mana. We don't even have to talk about Dredge, because there's all the Dredge cards. There's like Stinkweed, whatever. There's Golgari Grave Troll. Like, there's all these Dredge things that are good. But even that is more of the like, how do I increase my passive income? We're playing Commander like an idle game, and we need to be playing it like I'm making an active move. Singularity Rupture is Traumatized, but it's also a board wipe. Like, that will do it too. And so that's what this is what I would think about for making it run smoother, is I would replace these. You are being trigger brained right now. You are trying to get as many different triggers as possible instead of casting individual cards that effectuate the game plan very, very well. Like, that's Lord of the fucking Forsaken all over. This is, ooh, if I sack it, ooh, if I get a bunch of creatures, ooh, I can mill 3 cards at a time, versus this guy's 6 mana. Traumatize beats him. Ooh, I can pay life to channel for casting cards from my graveyard. Why are you casting a single card from your fucking graveyard? Why are we doing that? Why would I be casting... Why would I be planning to cast from my graveyard? It's like, maybe sometimes you'll have to. Maybe like you'll have to use 6 instead of something like that. But why would plan A? be to pay full price for my big fucking guys. And that's the line of thinking I would like to bring you over towards. Like Ob Nixilis, like genuinely the bounce land and Ob Nixilis, I can see being included just as like, I want to have a standalone threat. If I play Ob Nixilis by himself, I'm going to have a... Yes, Alex, the only 2 cards in the deck will be Traumatize and Reanimate, and then 97 lands. That is exactly what I was suggesting. Thank you for pointing out that very clear flaw in my thinking. So there's stuff like Ob Nixilis where you can run it by itself. Boom, you have a big creature. Job done. There's stuff like Ice-Till Explorer, where being able to replay my lands from the graveyard is great. There's stuff like Gitrog Monster, where we're going to draw a lot of cards from it. But overwhelmingly, yeah, like Undergrowth Recon, Brother Bear. What do you mean by Mike is bouncing? Is that like, is static coming in? What's the... Yeah, and we don't have Hermit Druid either. Oh, it's tapping if I bounce my leg. Okay, I'll try to stop bouncing my leg. It's just the game plan I've been having fun with. Okay. So then do we want it to run smoother? Because a lot of building a commander deck, like I hate optimizing. I think trying to make a deck as powerful as possible is one of the most boring things you can do in this game. And so it may be that the deck works badly in a way that you enjoy. That can be okay. So are we just like, what is the interaction in this deck that makes you the happiest? Because that's what we can preserve, and then we can take away all the other bullshit that is distracting from the thing that you like the most. Mr. Carter, thank you for the Twitch follow, by the way. Welcome back to the dog home. Because we could do, hey, I'm happiest when I'm doing a lot of Taval triggers and stuff with value. It's dopamine. Okay, so that's everybody. That came free with your having a brain. Specific cards, Wolf. Because right now we have a token deck and we have a big reanimation beater deck, and we're trying to force them to kiss when they don't want to. And so I'm gonna have you either pick the token plan or pick the big asshole plan, and we have to dedicate... I'm gonna reset the mic because I stopped tapping my feet. So there shouldn't be tapping. Okay, is that better? Ink Treader, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home. I appreciate that generosity. All right, so if we're prioritizing the token plan over the big shithead plan, we probably want to get rid of this Gerard package. Like it's very possible for us to just make a fuckload of tokens without needing Gerard. Like we could be doing Tender Shoot Dryad. This isn't even that powerful, but it would literally just be, hey, how do I get a bunch of assholes? If I have Tender Shoot Dryad on board, Wonder in my graveyard, job done. I have a bunch of 3/3 guys who will beat you to death. You could do I don't know if it's a Baloth. There's a guy with Devour. Livid Vapor, Lazy Talented, Namesby, and Hungry Pinecone. Thank you all for the Twitch follows. Welcome back to the dog home. Or to the dog house. Yeah, it's not Ravenous Baloth. It is a guy who... Devour X. Ah, Bloodspore Thranax. Nope, not what I meant at all. My fault. Maybe it's not X then. Hold on. Maybe it's just Devour. It might, I think it's the Michaeloth, yeah. Oh yeah, Michaeloth, there we go. So this is a guy that will convert all of your shitty little druids into a bunch more saprolings. So is this the type of stuff that we want to see? Because this is the type of stuff where you get a lot of triggers and you can get a lot of value, but you don't have to take over a lot of the game clock, which is very important in this type of more casual commander where we are building for dopamine. If you build a deck where you get a lot of triggers and it's really fun, but it mandates that you're speaking for 80% of the game, that's not going to be fun for other people. I like that. Great. We're going to do that. So we have Michaeloth. We're going to have Bloodspore, not Bloodspore Thranax. Fuck that guy. So Michaeloth, Tendershoot Dryad. Hey man, what about this card? Hey man. Hey. Just look at him. He's an 8/8. You get a bunch of 8/8s. You get a bunch of 8/8s. You got Wonder in the grave. You got Wonder in the graveyard. That's 8/8 flyers. Toothpaste them. Think about it, Wolf. Yes. Okay. So we can do shit like this, and then so it's gonna be big go wide. I think that also means Kodama probably goes. We're gonna do Big Gumby. If we're gonna do Big Gumby, I think we probably get rid of Undergrowth Recon. I think we probably get rid of Skull Prophet, and I think we probably get rid of Rampant Growth. I would rather... A lot of the guys we want to play are like 5 or 8 mana. So I would much rather be playing, even though Taval's 4, I would much rather be doing ramp on turn 1 to then like cultivate or Kodama's Reach on turn 2 to get more lands so that I can not only play Taval but also play all of these other big expensive guys. I mean, Dick Itchy, these are not bad. They're bad suggestions from an optimization standpoint, which is not what these fucking reviews are about. The sound can't be the mic shaking because the mic's not moving. The knocking's still happening. It might be the pop filter hitting the mic, but they're not touching. The mic is not sitting on the desk. Okay, anyway. So if we want to go from non-stop... If we want to go from non-stop, like, Trigger Town to how do I play more one-off things that are going to make me happy? I think we need to... Let's see. I do think we want more ways to be confident that we're going to reanimate. Here's another bad card. Here's a card you might have pulled that you can use. Look at how fucking terrible this is. But is it not a land that we can get back with Taval to get our other shit back? So the other stuff that's going to matter for how do I recast my big shitheads reliably? You have 6 already. God, I really don't want to recommend the... I really don't want to recommend Conduit of Worlds, but we might have to. Virtue of Persistence is pretty whatever. We can do it. Took it out. What on earth did you take out for it? You kept Pull Through the Weft in here and we didn't keep Conduit of Worlds in here? Glacial Godma is irresponsible and fun. Not a card. Oh, Glacier Godma. I mean, this is fine. I just don't think we're going to... I don't think we're going to have that many times where multiple lands enter. Alright, let me clean up what we're going to cut first. I think the stuff you should cut. I think you should cut Undergrowth Recon. I think you should cut Pull Through the Weft. I think you should cut... I want to say Muldrotha because I hate her, but she is just wildly effective. I think you should cut Exploration Broodship. I think you should cut the Gitrog Monster. I think you should cut Kodama of the East Tree. I think you should cut Crawling Sensation, Sidisi Brood Tyrant, Lord of the Forsaken, Vanille, Farseek, and Rampant Growth, but these should be lateraled for different ramp spells. These can all stay except for Pull Through the fucking Weft. Well, I don't think we get to keep Gravecrawler, because we're not doing any sacrifice loops. Bro is literally just there. Essence Anchor is quite bad. It's not like you might be able to keep it. You can keep Venom if you think he's cute. These are cute enough. And then I think Lord of Extinction, Consuming Aberration, and Gerard also hit the fucking bricks. Revan, Marin does enough. A creature has to die during your turn to get... No, they don't have to die during your turn even. A creature has to die, but even if you have no experience counters, you get a thing back to hand, which is really good. All we want is we want a critical mass of creatures that can get other creatures back to our hand in case we mill something we wanted to play. I do think it's reasonable to run Tortured Existence. And then if we're going to be on this token game plan, we should be moving... we should be having more things in the deck that will allow us to reanimate the good shitheads for less mana than they're worth. And so that's going to be like... Ooh, you can run another Spider-Man card. That is true. If we do put Glacier Godmon here and then we cast Famish Worldsire, the planet does explode. That is pretty funny. We don't have Dread Return. Oh, it's Behold the Sinister Six. We don't want to be doing more landfall. We want to be going deep on the main thing we want to do. We don't want to be like, oh, we're doing this, so we should also do this. Like, that's how this deck got to this position in the first place. We need to be like, what is our main priority? Do that over and over and over. So we can do a card like this. Because we should have 6 targets to get most games. And then you should, without a hint of irony, play Traumatize. That's half your deck in your fucking hand. Most of the time. And then whatever that Singularity card is it like Ruptured Singularity Rupture. Like, if you are allowed to just knock half your deck off the table, you should be tippy-tapping your fucking feet. You should be so happy to be able to do that. That also means one of our mill things should probably be Hermit Druid. You have enough basics that Hermit Druid is not going to go crazy, and that is okay. But what we want to beat is we want all of your mill stuff to do better than I mill 2 cards every turn. That's the bar. What does he do if somebody bogs him? He casts whatever he has in hand. Because guess what we're also going to get in here? We're also going to get card draw. We're also going to get... like, not every single thing in our deck is going to be in the graveyard. We're going to draw some of these, and that's why we're going to ramp. Brainstorm, we do fucking not need Brainstorm. That is, you are smoking crack, you want to put something on top of the library to mill it, then reanimate it. That is going on a date with your girlfriend who lives in Canada, who is a model and is the daughter of the Prime Minister. Don't do that. Durzis, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars. Like, the thing about, oh, I'm building a graveyard deck, what do I do about Bojuka Bog? You just have enough mana to cast stuff from hand too, and after that, you don't fucking worry about it. Every deck has weaknesses. Every deck has some silver bullet that can totally shut it down, and the more time you spend worrying about, oh, but I have to have like 5 different secondary plans in case the bad thing happens to me, just whole ass plan A. 20% of your games, 30% of your games, you will get silver bulleted and you will be very sad, and that's fine. Once you reach the point in Commander where you are willing to accept some games I will get bricked, the remaining 70 to 80% of your games are going to kick ass because you are fully committed to whatever your deck's game plan is, and you will be happier. I promise. Okay to get bogged. So we don't care. We don't care if we don't care if they bog us. So these are not things we're playing. I'm going to exile cycle them. Not a thing we're playing. All right, great. This is a fine opening hand. I would be happier if I had a Mana Dork. So I ramp on 2. I pay 2 life. I Tival. We're not playing him anymore. I exile cycle. So now it's turn 4, and I go... I don't have a way to get to 5 mana this turn. Yeah, they come in tapped. Ooh, that is upsetting. So I'm going to mill 3. This will come back tapped. I'll play a Rot Farm as land for turn, and I will have tapped that for mana, tap that for mana, tap that for mana. I sack 1 land, right? Yeah. I sack this forest, island. And now that I'm ramping, everything after turn 4, we should just be slamming a gigantic asshole. Whether that's something like Titan, that's just a card we like, or whether that's a big token generator like the Michaeloth, this should be the world we live in. But the ideal world is turn 1 I ramp, turn 2 I ramp, turn 3 and beyond, I am playing some giant fuck you value guy that makes me very happy. And then it'll work out. You will be bracket 2, but it'll work out. So turn 5, like what do I want to... I have 1 druid. I'm really far away from doing the Gilt-Leaf Archdruid things, so I don't care too much about that. I did cast Roiling Regrowth. Me when I summon a Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mill 5. Wow, that's a lot of boys that I milled. I could Honest Rutstein if I wanted one of these back. I think I want Horizon Explorer back. So I'll Honest Rutstein. Oh, you misordered the triggers because you didn't mill with Taval. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, fuck these guys. You are exile moved. Alright, that's fine. And I think I have a land in here that I sacked to Hera, so I get this back for Taval. So I tapped out. On turn 5, I tapped out to get a giant dickhead and to reanimate a guy that's going to ramp me even harder. That's a pretty acceptable turn. They might shoot Titan. They might not. We don't have enough lands in the graveyard for them to really be terrified of this. I don't think I played land for turn, so I'll do Broker's Hideout. If I did play land for turn, pretend that I played Broker's Hideout instead of that land for turn. Ruin, thank you for joining the Dog Home on YouTube. Welcome back to the Dog Home. That is a good point about Gilt-Leaf. If we want to be in this bracket 2 fun time zone, you probably cut Gilt-Leaf just because if you're in Gen Pop, people are gonna be unhappy about you stealing their homes. Okay? We can't be Wall Street. We can't be the banks in 2008. Okay, then we have removal. We have Casualties of War, which I wish so badly was Singularity Rupture. So I'll Exile Cycle you. This returns lands to field tapped, which I don't think I have any other than this. Either way, for this playtest... Okay, good, Wolf. If you as a pilot can make people accept this in bracket 2, you can keep rocking with it. But either way, this is going pretty okay. And if I could change any one thing, it would probably be, how do I change this Horizon Explorer value engine into a stock up? With the amount of mana that this deck has, I probably don't even need stock up. You could even look at things like Season of Weaving. What a stupid fucking card this is. You get a token copy of one of your things, and then you bounce all the non-token... You're a token deck. Bye-bye. I may not have Wonder, but you have nothing. It's... Akon, it's a very good card. I'll put it in goddamn everything I want to, because it's a goddamn good card. All right, so what do we get to Exile Cycle? I'm going to Exile Cycle this guy. I don't think we'd keep this hand just because it's very, very slow. We're not playing you. Still very, very slow. Not playing you. Absolutely not. Holy shit. How did I miss this abomination? All right. I think this is a secondary problem. I understand the desire to be like, I pulled this card, neato. I think a difficulty that does not marry well with proxying really good cards. It doesn't marry well with buying really good cards. So even if you didn't proxy these, it's like, it's cool to play with cards that you pulled. It's cool to love your collection and want to show off your collection. But if we're going like, oh yeah, and then I also put, right, I know that's why, but it triggers so badly. Like the trigger is so nothing. We can't just be like, is a Taval trigger, therefore is weighted equally in my brain. We have to care about how good the trigger is. This is one guy, extreme, like, this triggers with Taval. This young man also triggers with Taval and will kill people much faster. So I think we have to spend more energy on trying to think of how many turns does this take to pay off in a way that matters. And right now, everything is like straight up a 5-turn clock to pay off in a way that matters. Oh, look, a hand full of the shit we should cut. A hand just chock full of the things we should cut. So yeah, what I would recommend, have more like accelerationist ramp. Like I would go 1-3 imagination for my ramp. So I would be doing like Birds of Paradise and all that type of shit. Like Birds of Paradise, the Llanowar Elves, and I would try to be going like turn 1, I ramp. Turn 2, I ramp. Turn 3 and beyond, I play something crazy fun. Crazy fun, and it should ideally be crazy fun by itself. It should be like Michaeloth, and I sack my dorks to it, or I sack all of my Taval tokens to it, or I play the Saproling generator, or I play Avenger of Zendikar. Obviously, that's not on turn 3. Maybe you reanimate it on turn 3. You could play like Metamorphosis Fanatic as well. As another way to reanimate one of your big things. Yeah, turn 1 ramp, turn 2 ramp, turn 3, I Spirit Bomb you. Turn 4, I Spirit Bomb you. Turn 5, I Spirit Bomb you. Like, that's the heart of... And this is technically bracket 3. So if we want to... You may want to bring this down a bracket. If you don't want to bring it down a bracket and you really want to do Glacial Chasm stuff and you really want to do Field of the Dead stuff, then I would recommend, rather than replacing your slow mill engines with things like Traumatize, I would replace your slow mill engines with things like Tutors. I would be on like Buried Alive, Entomb, Buried Alive stuff, reanimate stuff, have good counter magic to prevent people from winning the game until I can do that. Oh yeah, you could do Old Man Stick Fingers as well. There's a lot of ways to do it, but that's what I would recommend. I think the way you are describing this deck to me, it sounds like a bracket 2 deck, and I think you should drop out the game changers and drop out a lot of these like very ineffectual engines for big triggers that are going to make you big happy. And if you really want to keep it bracket 3, then I would drop out the slow and ineffectual engines for more things that are going to tutor exactly what you need. Let's take you to the slideshow. Not Spore. I swear to God, the minute you show me Spore Frog in a deck you want to bring into Gen Pop, I'm taking a lead pipe out. Absolutely not. I think right now, Wolf, we're caught in the middle. There are a lot. This is actually an instance where it may be of genuine help for you to build 2 different Taval decks, to try to hone in on exactly what you want out of the deck, because Taval can include basically everything within Sultai. And Golgari, even Golgari Graveyard deck is a very, very broad topic. It can be like lands focused, it can be landfall focused, it can be tokens focused, it can be reanimation focused. There's a lot in there. So it may help you to just build, like in Moxfield, a couple different versions where you're like, I am whole assing this one individual thing. Oh yeah, and Lotus Light Dancers is another good tutor for the tutor direction. But there's a million. There's like God, you can entomb. There's even something called like Myth of Brokos. That's a Sultai specific one. You can old stick fingers. There's Traverse the Uvenwald. There's so much. There's so much you can do. Oh yeah, Diabolic Tutor if you want a fair-ish tutor. But we're gonna go to the manual ad break for Twitch, and then we're gonna come back with Play Mike Sucks' deck. So Twitch chat, I will see you soon. Oh yeah, Lively Dirge as well. Danny, thank you for the 15th month for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the Dog Home. Wolf, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helps. And I do think you can get a very, very fun deck out of this, but I would just say more big slams. Like the heart of bracket 2 is big slam, make happy. Oh yeah, custom card games are on because I've got to turn them off. Tumble Turtles, thank you for the Twitch follow. Soulbent, if you want to get your deck reviewed, the deck reviews are via commission only. They go on sale at the beginning of every month. Let me look at let me open this in Tagger to see if there's other ones. Sure, repeatable creature tokens. Whoa. Wah wee wah. Blue, black, green. I mean, yeah, there's the landfall shit as well. You could do Springheart Nantuko. That would be kind of dumb. How quick are deck rows selling out at the moment? Jane, this month they took quite a while because there's been some visibility issues when I set multiple commissions live at the same time. Why is blue U? Because black got B first and they just went and there was also the thing of when we did way less promo for the deck roast this month because we did the subathon, then I left for travel, and so we went like a week and a half with no streams or nearly no streams, and typically I go live on the day that the commissions go live, and the go live message is like, hey guys, deck roasts are on sale. So I think this month it took like 7 or 8 hours for all of them to sell out. Typically it takes under an hour. When I am like streaming normally and I am going live to promote that they are being sold, you typically have less than 2 hours, and more months than not you have less than 1 hour. Titania won't really do it because we're not sacking our lands a lot. There's Tender Shoot, more landfall, which I don't like. So Whitebread, one of the things we changed is now I sell them for the specific day, so only 4 go on sale for a given day. Opsa, the subathon reviews are not all finished, so I sold less normal roast this month than typical. Oh, Wolf, this could be a real fucking goofy card for you. I don't think it's that good, but again, if this might make you happy. You're making zombie druids. It does not help with the Guiltleaf Archdruid plan. Again, very bad card. But I'm trying to think of like what triggers would make this person. What triggers would spark joy for you? It's very cute. It will fuel itself with your commander, and if somebody kills your commander, as long as you've gotten one trigger of this off, very technically tokens. These aren't that great. Life from the Loam is, yeah. If you have any type of, I mean, the dredge stuff is never going to be bad for any type of graveyard deck you have. The reason I was advising away from the dredge cards is because I think the dredge cards are typically that very like, ooh, I'm going to get a little bit of value all of the time. And I think Wolf's deck is going to benefit a lot from going like, fuck it, 5 mana, I've now done the thing. I've done it now. All right, I got to use the bathroom. Then we're going to do Play Mike Sucks' deck. I'll be right back. All right. I'm so cooked. I was already in this stream, saw the logo on live channels, got exited and pressed to check out what Maldhound is up to. You're just double watching, dog. You're just double watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, sir. All right, Play Mike Sucks. You are here. Excellent. Let's get the fuck into it. Play Mike Sucks has sent in a scary deck, an engine to make big things that smack everyone in the face using silly magic. All right. Like, probably Voltron. Giving you a sunburn. This is an attempt at making a powerful Enchantress face-smacking deck that I can use to wipe people out early and effectively. This is not Voltron. A secondary combat option and a draw engine. My normal goal is to Voltron another creature, alright? Okay, so Tuvasa, but different. We're not Voltroning Tuvasa, we're building up other creatures. Let's... You gotta pack this fucking deck up, man. What do you even... Come on. Come on, You gotta cut the shit. You want to talk about the deck. Like, we can't... Everybody keeps sending in fucking Rhystic Study decks and being like, okay, but what about everything but Rhystic Study? We cannot separate Rhystic Study from the deck. It has corrupted you. It's like trying to talk about Gojo without Infinity or Charlie Kirk without racism. It's always there. So you're cutting this. And then we will talk about the rest. All right? All right. So fuck this. Fuck this right now. I mean, if you want to be scary, right? If we want to be... This is genuinely the card where I am the most, like, bracket 4 only. I know it's Game Changer. I know they didn't separate the tiers of Game Changers. If Rhystic Study is in your deck, any game in which you play a Rhystic Study, it's a Rhystic Study game. Like, if there was any card I could get banned, it would be this card. Every time. And if you're doing Voltron, I really doubt that the rest of your deck is up to the level of a Rhystic Study play pattern. We'll see, but I doubt it. Isn't there somebody you forgot to... What if I beat you in the face using silly magic? My silly magic is fucking Mystic Arcanum, Zip Tie, and you just fucking handcuff them. All right. I like that a decent number of these are enchantments. I think we've missed a few things that I'll circle back on. It'll be really funny one day when I make this really big and somebody gets one-shot by it. I support this dream. I support this dream. Make she or he thick. We said it wasn't Voltron. Right? Hey. Talk to me, Mike. Talk to me, Mike. You told me silly magic, you showed me Rhystic Study. You told me not Voltron, you showed me all that glitters and Super State. Like, I still support the dream, and I also support you, but I guess I support you being a fucking liar. Eldrazi Conscription, it's not Voltron? Alright. Must combat betterer. Real, okay. Alright. Seeking help. So we have some tutors as well. So this is where I will double down on... Well, it's supposed to be scary, so it's supposed to have really good cards, but we're choosing really, really strange ways to be scary. Do people still call it Voltron if you're going for non-commander damage? Genuine question, unfamiliar with the Voltron archetype. So some people won't, but typically Voltron refers to taking one creature and making them giant. Your plan might be, some people will also call it battle line if you're trying to take two to four creatures. You're trying to take 2 to 4 creatures and make them like medium large. People will call that battle line rather than Voltron. But if you're trying to take one guy and be like, he's fucking giant, that's Voltron, even if it's not commander damage. The typical ones are commander damage, because commander damage is easier than non-commander damage. Who even needs Soul Ring? This is a 1-to-1 Soul Ring replacement, dog. Okay, Overgrowth. So we're doing a lot of enchantment, ramp. which makes sense for our commander. Working women, oh my god, it's a hot women beat me to death deck. It's always a fucking hot women beat me to death deck, man. It's always hot women beating me to death. Landon, no. If you want to get your deck reviewed, these are commissions that are arranged ahead of time. Now these are all enchantment synergies, so it does make a certain kind of sense. Command towers. So I, as a third-party, objectively correct observer, I would call this a spooky deck rather than a scary deck. I think the only scary card in here is Rhystic Study. It doesn't seem like you're able to threaten kills very quickly. We're not going for any combos. We have a decent amount, like this, if anything, I would guess that you call this deck scary because your table gets very, very mad when you counterspell them. Can I get a 1 to 10 on like how accurate that read is? Because that's what this gives to me, is it's like, oh my god, Paul has a big creature and he got rid of one of my creatures? We need to call the police. 6 to 8, depending on who I'm playing that day. Right, Alec, man. I don't even think we need Rhystic Study in particular. So let's start playing and see what happens. So we don't have turn 1 ramp, which is a goddamn shame, but we have removal and Greaves. We go, yeah, Sea of Clouds? Sure. Me when the Greaves are made of lightning. Turn 3, I go Commander, protect my commander. Hope for the best, right? Next turn, I play an enchantment and I draw a card. Wowza. Next turn, I play a land, I play an enchantment, I draw a card. Wowza. I will fuck up somebody else's thing. I draw a card. Wowza. I'm truly, your speed is terrifying. I could fuck up one other person's thing, and I draw a card. Yippee. I go land. Tuvasa's like, does Tuvasa get +1/+1 for every single enchantment I control? Yeah. Tuvasa's only the first one, Mr. Ninja, so everything after Sithis I wouldn't draw from. Oh, I draw from Kenrith's itself too, yeah, so I have one more card in hand. Yeah, +1/+1 for each enchantment, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's a 5/5. Not that much. Turn 7. I can... And this is, I think this is one of the parts where the premise of the deck breaks down a little bit to me. I understand, oh, I want to go for a different thing than what people are always going for. However, it kind of seems to me like the different thing we're trying to do mandates that we play badly. And I don't like that. I like because we go, well, I don't want to Voltron my commander. I'm gonna Voltron Sithis, and yet the thing we should be doing is Voltroning our commander, right? Like we should just be going Armadillo Cloak, Sage's Reverie, I kill you. Oh, it was a Voltron deck, but I needed card draw? Ooh, okay. Because the one thing that, like, what Tuvasa lets you do is play a Voltron deck without having to play Voltron enchantments, because Tuvasa naturally gets Voltron just from playing value enchantments. Like the... Because we could spread the love, and we draw, like, 3 cards from all this. But yeah, like this right here, we have lethal trampling Tuvasa with Shroud. And if we do anything else, it's us doing it worse on purpose, which is typically the type of thing that I dislike the most. Okay. And now, in between playtests, as I have gotten a full little bubble around the deck, I'm going to speak about politics for 20 seconds. So if you hate politics, close your ears for 20 seconds, and I will now respond to Fiery Oni. And the reason I was not responding to you is because I did not want to derail the stream, because I think it's likely that you attempt to derail the stream further by talking about it. I don't think that we should go and kill people that you disagree with. I think the world is better with Charlie Kirk dead. I think he was spreading violence, and I think if you only think that violence is you picking up a gun and hurting somebody, that's violence, and your view of violence is too narrow. Charlie Kirk got people killed. Charlie Kirk made people's lives worse. I am glad Charlie Kirk is no longer able to spread his hateful and violent rhetoric. I do not support shooting people that you disagree with. Back to a bad Voltron deck. Yeah, no, Nick Tater, I would not. If I'm talking about commander politics, I would not ask you to mute. Anyway. We have another... we really did train this deck wrong as a joke. Okay. We're going to be in Bant Enchantress, which means we're going to have some degree of Voltron no matter what. I think one thing we are missing out on is we're not utilizing the fact that we can play on other people's turns. Play Mike Sucks, is there a reason that we have not gone into Flash at all? I didn't think of it. All right. Excellent. Oh god, do we really only have Orrery? That's terrible. So we can Leyline. We can Leyline, we can Vedalken Orrery. Vedalken Orrery is ugh. We can Leyline of Anticipation. Ah, yeah, we can High Phase Trickster and Stormcaller. Yeah. So we should probably get some of these in the deck. Main reason being, even if you want to Voltron, this will allow you to trick people. Whether or not you're going to use the card draw from Tuvasa, well, like whether or not you use the Flash to draw a bunch of extra cards from Tuvasa, this will let you swing a guy, and they'll be like, oh, well, it's a 4/4, whatever. And then you can flash in all that glitters mid-combat and kick somebody into the fucking moon. There is also an enchantment that will recur one of your enchantments, and then you can flip him into you having Flash. I do not think we want to go Tanglespan Lookout. Let me look at our aura count before I make that final decision. 23. Okay. Wow, we're that's not good for the deck, but it's good for Tanglespan Lookout. God, I just want to play some guys and I just want to let them aura farm. That's the whole shit. I do like Alchemist Refuge. Please tell me why this has Calyx in it, because if you fucking hit somebody with a creature, you get more enchantments. If you fucking hit somebody. Oh no, I don't think we have Calyx actually. Yeah, so it's please tell me why don't we have Calyx? Was this man not good enough for you, Play Mike? Was this not good enough for you? I do not think we need Sarah's Sanctum. Not a hot woman. We have a bird in the deck. What do you mean, not a hot woman? Didn't know the card exists. Okay, great. So we're going to go to Otag Enchantress. Wait, is Calyx's dumbass? Oh, Calyx must not be technically. So Enchantress must be the tag for it draws a card as well. Hold on. Enchantment Fall. We'll do Synergy Enchantment. I think we spun by this card in there. We do not need Cloud Key. Holy fuck. I don't think we need Archon of Sun's Grace necessarily. How you feel about sigilling on an empty throne though? Here's another card you may not know exists. Hot women were not the intention of this deck. Just a happy accident. Cooked EDH, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. I don't think we have Yenna. Yenna could get fucked up crazy style. I think the main issue with Yenna is that we're doing this Voltron shit, because Yenna really wants you to take a bunch of value enchantments. Sigil of the Empty Throne is interesting, but I was concerned it would be a bit too slow. I mean, then why'd we build the deck how we built it? I'm concerned Sigil of the Empty Throne is a little bit too slow, Brother Bear. You're trying to make Birds of Paradise bounce on it hedgehog style. Do not talk to me about too slow. Playing goddamn Mantle of the Ancients, but what if I'm not quick enough? We're not even committed to ramping turn 1 and we're worried about speed? Oh my god, fucking Worldly Tutor, holy shit. I command tower, I Worldly Tutor for a dork. Give me Birds of Paradise right now, bro. Yeah, like if we yeah, like we don't have the potential to go fast. It doesn't seem like. Like it seems like even the god draw for us is we get Tuvasa turn 2, we play Rhystic Study turn 3, we play like all that glitters. Like maybe we could put together Lethal turn 4. We could put together lethal turn 4 if it's like I get a dork, I get Tuvasa, I get Rhystic Study. Rhystic Study picks up a tenth of my deck, and then I do all that glitters, ethereal armor, and then actually even that I don't think gets to lethal. I think you get like a 10-10 instead of an 11-11, and we don't have double strike. Holy fuck. Yeah, the speed of this deck is fully imaginary. And so I don't think we're that worried about Sigil of the Empty Throne. What I'm worried about is just somebody shooting Tuvasa. Although I guess they can be overcome by going like, okay, Core Spirit Dancer. I Sheltered by Ghost, one of these two. I draw 2 cards. I could give all my creatures +1/+1. Yeah, I think very similar to the deck we saw from Wolf, the biggest issue with this deck is that everything, for a good thing to happen, we have to have 5 or more good things happen. That is a rough fucking place to be. Especially if we want to be scary. We could take Ivy would be a way to really speed up the threat profile of the deck. Because that way you can double dip all of your auras, and I don't think that will double dip all of your Enchantress synergies, but it will give you, hey, here's this one creature that you might want to remove. Isn't that scary? And then you can say, here's Ivy, a different creature that you definitely have to remove, or I'm going to kill you quite quickly. Yeah, and it has flying. So what else could we put in here? We should probably be running something like Ancestral Mask if we're not already. Because what I want is more things that don't require, again, that don't require 8 billion positive things to have already occurred for us. And a lot of our stuff is, not a lot, but we have a number of enchantments that aren't even meant to be cast on the opponent's board. We have a number of enchantments that, like, you know, Bear Umbra. Okay, we get to untap all our lands, do more stuff. Okay, Vigilance and Lifelink. I do think. Somebody seems a little bit afraid of taking damage, which we definitely have to fix. We have too much lifelink in here for me to believe in your warrior mindset. Sage's Reverie seems fine because we have a lot of auras. You know what, boss? That's fair. Yeah, so I would replace at least one of the cloaks or the courage with Ancestral Mask. And I'm just gonna fucking hit you super hard. If we don't have Strength of the Harvest already, we should have Strength of the Harvest. I can see why we didn't put this in because it is not an enchantment creature. Lifelink is delicious though. Yes, but if we're worried about going fast, Lifelink is not a thing you pick because you're trying to go fast. Lifelink is something you pick because you are deeply afraid of your own mortality, and that's always wrong. Always wrong in Commander. Somebody else just has to die sooner. Lifelink is what you pick if you are purposely trying to make the game go slower so that you can get more triggers. Thank you so much. I love you. There are some things like Pearl Ear where this has lifelink, but it having lifelink is not important at all. We don't have to go fast, but I'm not trying to go slow on purpose. Hmm. Composer of Spring's not going to do a goddamn thing for us. Johnny's Chosen is also quite slow. This guy. I've been tortured by this guy many times. Few things in the world make me angrier than Fear of Sleep Paralysis. My girlfriend plays it in their Amanatu deck, and it is consistently they play it, we have one turn rotation, or we lose the game. If you are playing with anybody who is trying to win the game via combat damage, this kills them. This explodes their butthole forever. It has flying. It is an enchantment. It is going to lock down all of your opponent's creatures. This is another thing like Ivy, where they either shoot it on sight and you keep Tuvasa now, or they don't shoot it on sight and you win the game because they did not shoot it on sight. We're in Bant. See. If you want dumb, silly things, this is your dumb, silly guy. This is where this is slow, this is bad, this is about sparking joy. This is the A plus B plus C. Oh, this is in the deck already? Never mind. Fuck me. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't think we need to be doing 1/1 counters. I mean, you could do Celestial Ancient, but you really do not have to. Entity Tracker would be pretty cute. I do think it would also be worth experimenting with things like Krufix's Insight. A problem that decks like these can get into is when you try to go I have this really big pile of guys that will draw me one card every time I breathe, and then I have this really big pile of air that I'm going to breathe. It sounds really good in theory, but the few times it doesn't line up, or the few times that somebody shoots your card draw engine the moment you play it, you can just collapse into a fucking pile on the ground. And so having a couple cards like Krufix's Insight, or God forbid I say Stock Up, or any other thing in the 3 to 5 mana range that is going to draw you a lot of cards is very, very helpful. It's very, very helpful. Not having to always rely on having an engine on the battlefield is going to help the consistency of a deck very, very much. Because this one, so we go Mysterize, we go Collector Oof, because one time I played against an Urza deck. Oh my god, we got Hollowed Fountain. Alright, this is a perfect example. We have Tuvasa. We've done it. We had to tap out for it. If somebody goes, fuck it, shock. Me no draw card anymore. Me very sad. But I do ramp super hard. And now I go okay, Tuvasa again. But now it's turn 5. I have a 2/2. And I'm very, very far behind the play. And this is, I think I again have to tap out. No, I can keep 1 mana up, which is not enough to cast anything out of my hand. So if we go to next turn, this is where we begin to start playing everything. But we don't have flash, and so we can't like, oh, I'm gonna draw 4 cards, yum 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 yum. We have, I'm gonna cast Sheltered by Ghosts, and I'm gonna nuke one thing, and then I'm holding up Mana Drain, and that's all. That's all I've got because my Voltron pieces and my other engines were not in my hand. And so we do have redundancy to our commander. We have a bunch of these motherfuckers. Where are they? Oh, thank you, baby. Like, it's the fact of like, there's only, holy shit. I almost dropped the delicious food Z made me. No matter, unless you have like 50 pieces of redundancy, you still might not draw them. You need other things that will do well for you. Because we have Core Spirit Dancer, we have Sithis, we have Argothian Enchantress, we have Enchantress's Presence, we have Setessan Champion, we have Mesa Enchantress, we have Verduran Enchantress, we have like 7 different, Eidolon of Blossoms, we have 8 different pieces that do the exact same thing. Like, we're pretty confident we're going to see one every game. We're not confident we're going to mull into one. Which just means if anybody's like, oh, I remember what this Tuvasa deck does, I'm not going to let you draw those cards. Yeah, for Flash, you have Leyline, you have Flip Heliod, you have High Fae Trickster. For even more redundancy, we could do SRAM. Because we are on 23 auras. And I do actually agree with the Ishai recommendations, because the other thing we need is, if we want to be making creatures big, we have to have big guys. And if we can have somebody... I think I didn't do SRAM because I had PTSD from someone who used him as a commander. Yeah, that's fucked up. And so if we can have a guy that has evasion and has I get pretty big all on my own, we're very, very happy. We're very, very happy. If we can do Calyx to help contribute to the embiggening, we're very, very happy. I think this is a trauma response. Now, is it a useful one? Yeah, but it is a trauma response. I think the lifelink is a trauma response, and I like Alpha Authority. Octopus Umbra is fucking funny. Yeah, so really, I think Eldrazi Conscription, Super State, Nylea's Colossus, Octopus Umbra, Daybreak Coronet, and Sage's Reverie, we're already spending 6 cards on our funny win more budget. Our arms are chock full of trains, dog. We gotta get responsible with the rest of it. So I don't think we need lifelink very much. I'm really not sold on needing to reuse Rancor that often if you get more creatures like Ishai. Like, if you just have better targets for what we're gonna hit people with. We got a lot of tutors. And the rest of the deck probably comes down to mulliganing better. Well, no, Mike, I'm saying you don't have to cut the big ones. If we want to keep these as the big fun things, you can absolutely do that. We just have to understand that it is a downside, like it is a weakness of the deck, and we can celebrate that weakness, but there's only so much we can take. The ones I would cut are Armadillo Cloak and Unflinching Courage. I would cut these two, and I would keep playing with these very, very fun things. Actually, me personally, I would probably cut Daybreak Coronet as well. I tend to, personally, I really dislike when a card makes me go A plus B plus C equals happy. I mostly enjoy A plus B equals happy. This is not an enchantment creature. Yeah, and then I think the rest of the deck is mostly mulligan tech. Like this is probably a deck where I would never let you have free mulligans, and you have to be willing to go down to 6 or even go down to 5 to have it work the way you want it to work. So we do this. God, I'm gonna pretend this is Enchantress's Presence. So I get 5 mana right now. Got 2. Is this auras only? It's auras only. So I only draw 1. Then I go aura, bang bang, starting town. I have 5 lands, I have 6 monies. Why does a man gotta work so hard just to superstate a motherfucker? So I probably go Sage's Reverie. Draw, what, 3? That's fucked. That is fucked. Do I have any more mana? No, I do not. I cast this guy. Force of will, looking at how quickly this deck goes and like the top end of this deck, it's really like watching a baby handle a shotgun. It's painful. I'm gonna be real with you. If there's a 3-drop Satyr that's another Enchantress draw, we could probably use that. The discounting auras, we probably don't need that much. I think what we would need is more. Like, if I was going to change one thing about this deck, it would be more 1-drop ramp. Whether it's an enchantment, whether it is an enchantment. Oh, yeah, we can't even cast Force of Will for the free cost because we don't have. Oh, no, no, no. We have a Bant card. That's blue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dog, I hate to be that guy. I think if you traded like 2 lands for 2 mana dorks, you would this deck would probably be happier. I say that very, very rarely, but our curve is nothing. Our curve is 1,000,000 2-drops and 500,000 3-drops. And we need to accelerate into playing the game on turn 2 rather. And I know it seems like such a tiny difference to go, oh, I'm hitting the gas, like I'm playing Tuvasa. Oh no, my throat's itchy. Hold on. Anyway. I know it seems like a really small difference, but if we're playing scary and we're playing at really powerful tables, the difference between tapping out on turn 2 to set up my engine and tapping out on turn 3 to set up my engine is like stopping to tie your shoes at the beginning of the track meet. Like you will just get fucking blown out if you pass on turn 3. God forbid you go last. Right? It's your turn 3, you tap out, and the other people are taking their turn 4. You're dead, brother. you're dead in the goddamn water with your shoelaces untied and your pants around your ankles. So you could shave some of this other stuff. Like the deck will get better without any of these other suggestions if you just consistently go to Tuvasa turn 2, Tuvasa turn 2, Tuvasa turn 2. Straight up. Because most of your good engines are 3 mana. So even if it's not Tuvasa, if you're just like, I am always casting Mesa Enchantress or Enchantress's Presence or Setessan or Tuvasa on turn 2, we do not need fast mana. The game plan this deck is going for does not deserve a Mox. Alright, that is the moment we put a Mox Diamond in this deck, I have failed as a pseudo-therapist. The thing we want to do is goofy, but it's goofy requiring a hefty amount of setup. The setup we need is like Llanowar Elves, Birds of Paradise, which we have, but we get all the other ones in there. And then we try to get a land base. Fuck it, you could Lotus Petal. If you accept the terms and conditions of potentially getting your dick blown off, you could 100% do a Lotus Petal and it would not be unfair. Yeah. Yeah, you got one sitting around? Fuck it, Lotus Petal. Tuvasa turn 2, they shoot Tuvasa. I'm out of mana for the game. Who cares? Who cares? Do it. So let's go to the zoo and figure out if there's any other, like, because I know that there's a million, like, enchantment ramp things. Or really, actually, I just need... Does this work? Blue, green, white. Oh no, that's gonna be Abzan. Fuck. Ugh. So you have 96 cards we get to pick from. Soul Ring is not relevant to you. You're gonna think Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic are not relevant, or Fin-Torned Elves. You're gonna think these are not relevant to you because you're gonna be like, oh, but I'll be on double green. That's not gonna help me. It will if you ever draw Enchantress's Presence, Eidolon of Blossom, Setessan Champion, Verdurn Enchantress. Like, there's a million other things you can draw that is not your commander. You could even get Exploration. You can get Avacyn's Pilgrim. You can do Arbor Elf. Springleaf Drum is not going to be it for you. You could run Gilded Motherfucking Goose. Boreal Druid's not going to do it for you. Soundstorm Pro, thank you for the Twitch follow. Would Avacyn's Pilgrim be a better first pick, though? Yes, I think Avacyn's Pilgrim would be the better first pick for additions, but I think you should be shaving all over the place. Like, I think 2 lands can go. Prismatic Omen is coward shit. Just have a better land base. I'm not totally sold on Unquestioned Authority. I still don't like Unflinching Courage, Armadillo Cloak, or Daybreak Coronet. Collector Oof is definitely a trauma response. Like, there's so many, and Rhystic Study has to go. Like, you have up to, I think, 8 cards you could cut just to jam more mana acceleration into here without adding any of the other good Enchantress pieces we mentioned, and the deck would feel like night and day difference in terms of how quickly it gets off to the races. You could even cut goddamn Sylvan Library. That one's a little bit of crack smoking, but you could even cut Sylvan goddamn Library. You're going over here, though. Red, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. I missed it. Why does Rhystic Study need to go in this deck? Because this motherfucker played one Voltron deck that did not have card draw and was like, how do I get card draw in this bitch? Please. How do I get card draw in this bitch? I need it. I need it now. So we don't need that. Rest of your interaction is all chill. So Red, the deck reviews, these are pre-arranged via Ko-Fi. We do have streams every month where we do free deck roast for people in chat, but that's not happening today. Oh, why does it need to be removed from this scary? I wasn't clear. I think this deck is falsely designated as scary. I think this is a spooky deck, and Play Mike Sucks' play group overreacts to counterspells. That is my opinion. If we want this deck to be scary, your premise is not scary. Like, if we want the deck to be scary and we're talking about how do I get Super State on faster, we've lost the plot. And that's okay. Not every deck has to be scary to be fun. But like, once we're talking about, yeah, my deck is fucked up and evil, I'm going to hardcast Eldrazi Conscription. Somebody will be here to pick you up from daycare in a couple hours. Spooky vs. Scary is a little bit about speed. Spooky vs. Scary is more about scary decks are playing a bunch of permanents that by themselves can take over the game. Spooky decks are trying to assemble a confluence of permanents that are all like kind of doing synergy and work together to get fucked up later on. Would you say it's possible to make Tuvasa properly scary is my question to you. Yes, and the deck would look nothing like what you have submitted. Which is why I did not advise it. Like, I'm pretty sure people have tried to make Tuvasa CEDH decks. Yeah. Like, this is the scary. It is all tutors, it is all fast mana, it is all control, and then Tuvasa beats you to death. And you have these card draw things as card draw engines. But you don't get to slam any of your cute stuff. We are doing Birds of Paradise turn 1, bam. Tuvasa turn 2, bam. We're probably going infinite somehow if I see Pemin's Aura in here. This is just a land. I go Sylvan Library. And I hold up Psych Rift. I draw 2 extra cards. I have Flusterstorm and I have Verduran Enchantress. I'll pay 4 life. Life's not real. I have another land. Enchantment, draw card. Hold mana. Oh, it's Sanctum Weamer. Oh, Pemin / Birds of Paradise? Well, it's infinite taps and untaps, but infinite taps and untaps doesn't really do anything. There's probably a lot, like, I just don't know the deck well enough to know what we're tutoring for, but if you are doing scary Tuvasa, you are doing enchantment, good stuff, plus a combo. It'll work. You can do it. I don't think it is the type of fun you're trying to have, which is why I did not recommend it to you. Yeah, like if we're doing like think about this is a good way to think about it. When we watch anime, a very common thing that comes up is we're like, why are the characters just standing there monologuing at each other? Why are none of them like sucker punching each other? If you want to play the anime deck that plays out like an anime on screen, you're probably spooky or silly. If you want to be the person that is sucker punching somebody or shooting them in the middle of their monologue, then you probably want to be on scary. If all you care about is I want to win quickly, I don't care how it happens, I don't care how you feel, I don't care how cool my thing is, I just want to get you, that is scary. And the deck that you presented to me is very, we're roughhousing. You said it'll be really funny one day when I one-shot you with a Birds of Paradise. That is fucking, that is Bankai shit, all right? That is not 3 miles away with a 50 cal sniper rifle. That is Bankai. So you can definitely do Scary Tuvasa, but it will look a lot different. And I like the dream as is. I want to support this dream as it is. I want you to get a game out where you play Birds of Paradise, you get Tuvasa, you draw into Super State, and you eventually set up like Nylea's Colossus Super State, and you explode the world with New York's buffest pigeon. That sounds beautiful. So we're going to go to the manual ad break, and then it is time for Cairo Kyuto's deck. So I'm going to huddle off screen for a moment and eat the delicious food. Yeah, Ormus, the Post-its is the wall of support from the subathon. Hell yeah, Mike. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you got some helpful suggestions. I will be right back. Okay. We are back. Oh yeah, thank you for letting me know, Alec, man. I'm gonna maintain the order, so we're gonna go Kyrokyuto into you. Um, we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit. We're gonna snatch it up a little bit. All right, Cairo, get your dick out. It's smashing time. This is spooky. This is the first and last cool Bant +1/+1 counters deck. That is a bold statement. Okay, hold on. We gotta guess. We have the first cool +1/+1 counters Bant deck. We have to do a poll. We have to gamble about this. We have to gamble for this. Who to the zoo. All right. Who the fuck did you pick? Could be Bumbleflower. Could be Galadriel. Could be Helga. Could be Titus. I feel like, okay. I feel like if they think it's going to be cool, it would probably be Titus. Because what probably happened is they went, oh, I'm so cool. I'm not only doing +1/+1 counters, I'm also moving wibbly wobbly counters. Have you ever heard of something called a shield counter? What about a stun counter, buddy boy? Anyway, I'm gonna proliferate 5 times. So I think I'm gonna lock in Titus as my guess. Whoa. Okay, wrong. Fucking jump scare prismatic. God damn it. We're still keeping Titus as the guess. Oh, this is so much better. Okay. All right, it's Goad shield counters. It's Goad shield counters +1/+1, not even on the commander text box. Love it. Now, what did we actually do? Handing out guns. Okay, so we're putting 1/1 counters on other creatures. Yeah, so it's all target creature, not target creature we control. I like that. Oh, that looks awful. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Handing out rocket launcher. Holy fuck, what? 2 mana 5/5 cumulative upkeep. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature an opponent controls. Are you telling me the green decks could have been cool this whole time? I mean, you still have Forgotten Agent, which is like 3 points against you, but are you telling me the green decks, this shit could have been interesting from the jump? When did this come out? This card looks old as fuck. Cold snap, every green player is a failure. Every green player but you is a fucking failure, man. Never mind, you're a failure too. Yeah, things I like about this from the jump. It is definitely a way to do 1/1 counters I have not seen before. It's got a lot of cards that I've never seen, which does have novelty, which is a benefit. It seems like it has an interesting axis to play on. What I am most worried about, how do we win the 1v1? Very funny tag. How do we win the 1v1? Very decent. How do we win the 1v1? Okay, here's one card. Here's one card. Hmm. It kind of seems like we don't. Remind these goons who they goon for. They goon for Kroos? They goon for Kroos? It goads, yeah. That is good. That is a very good way. So we can steal. We can. That's cute. So Sin is probably the best. Uncle Cheney's discount card draw and Warcrime Emporium. Holy fuck. I think that's pretty good. Windows they just fell out of for no reason. Yeah, this is crazy. This is you being counterpilled. I think we got a little too cute with Argent Dias. Yeah. We can't have Oko man-spreading on the fucking Phyrexian altar, man. This tag rocks, though. I like Hopeful Initiate. I like Muddle a Mixture. Then we have a big old sideboard. Okay. Biggest concern is the 1v1 and how often we're actually Philip, yes, I am live streaming on Twitch and YouTube as well. I'm Maldhound there as well. The thing is, Sludge Monster isn't going to be that good for us because we're going to give people a bunch of base power and toughness 2/2s that have a bunch of 1/1 counters on them anyway. Like, I can see why you cut this. Ninat, you are correct that we win the 1v1 with Reigns of Power, but when we have a deck like this, I want to see 10 cards that win the 1v1. If I see 2 cards that win the 1v1, what that tells me is most of the time we win the 1v1 by surrendering and claiming the moral high ground, which is insufficient. So we start off. God, I hate to do it again, but I'm about to fucking dork you up, brother. We're land passing 3 turns in a row. I'm getting itchy. I know it's spooky, but still, there's no rules against having mana. I mean, I guess we could Recruiter of the Guard, but I feel like tutoring with an empty board is just gonna make everybody mad. Boom, Kroos, turn 4, fair magic, fair as hell. Oh, 9-9, it is in the deck. It is in the deck. So we don't get anything until our upkeep. So we go upkeep. We have goaded one thing. It is turn 5. I am in physical pain. Collective effort doesn't do a lot for us. I think we... Oh, fuck. I think we go a Johnny, uptick a Johnny, goad 3 creatures. We'll goad 2 from a Johnny and then 1 for Kroos. Holy fuck. Sky Boon Evangelist, I goad the fucking board? Oh, that's awesome! Oh, that is unfortunately very dope. Okay. I mean, I'll assume Kroos gets at least one of these. Like, I'll hit my own board with one thing. I'll uptick a Johnny again. Whole board's fucking goated. Me when I escalate. Is there a way for me to... Not a great way for me to do anything here. Hmm. I can't bounce anything to hand, but I can make Incubation Druid fucking massive. I can keep goading and pumping and goading and pumping. Hmm. Cairo, I think part of this deck... Here's what I don't like as much. Or I don't even say don't like. The deck rips, alright? Let's say this. The deck fucking rips. Here are ways I think it could rip harder. I do think there are places you could shave to have dorks or more ramp. I think that a lot of your fun time stuff is happening in the 4 to 5 range. I think we have a lot of things in the 2 and 3 range. I think all of the things in the 2 and 3 range are not very effective. Maybe I just didn't see your draw engines, but like yeah, we had some tutors, we had some... I think what we're missing is stuff that's just gonna work every time. I think that was a relatively good hand. What I worry about is what happens if I don't get to keep the counter engine and the draw engine every game. Like this game, alright, I get a 1-1 type shit. I got a mana rock. Very good. Now I get to play Kroos on turn 4, or turn 3. That makes me very happy. I Scavenger Grounds, I get to... Yeah, I'm gonna Will Breaker. Make everybody super fucking mad at me. Now I'm going like Bulwark, Ox. I'm stealing something. Everybody's really mad. And I don't have... And this is the type of... This is the playtest that starts to feel a bit fragile to me. And I'm trying to think about how we get around that fragility, because here most of our game plan is predicated upon Willbreaker sticking. If I don't get to keep Willbreaker, or if anybody, like if I have more people playing good creatures than I can goad, and I can only goad for one thing this rotation, I think I start to get pretty worried. I could do Evolutionary Escalation to try to get like 2 things, and I could make Willbreaker bigger. This is just truly insane. I don't know what combo player you hit with this, but this is diabolic. This is completely insane. Yeah, it is weird to playtest it, because it depends a lot on what are other people doing. But with these engine decks, I'm kind of always... I am always... I'm always cynical about an engine deck that does not attempt to accelerate their mana. If we have engines and we're trying to play our engines on curve, I am immediately depressed. And so there's things like... This one's really good. This one's really good. I think what it is I like the stuff. I like the 4 mana stuff that puts counters on a lot of things so much more than I like the 2 mana things that put counters on like one thing or two things, that it makes me feel like, well, why wouldn't we just go, I play ramp, I play the really meaty one a turn faster. And I will respond to the cries of chat that being a cop would be very, very good for you. Be very, very good. And maybe your answer to that question is, well, I got to play Dreamtide Whale one game and I always want to be double spelling. And I'm partial to that as well. I'm just not fully sold. I like ripples. I like proliferating. I like Grateful Apparition. I don't think your deck can go down on lands. The issue with 4 mana stuff is they compete with the commander and proliferate is crazy. So I'm not advising you swap 4 mana permanents in, but like Forgotten Ancient, it's reasonable that they compete with the commander, and it's less of, it is less of, do I want to play my commander or do I want to play this thing? And more a question in my mind of, do I want to play on turn 3? Would I rather play Plaxcaster Frogling, or would I rather play my commander or Forgotten Ancient? Or a Johnny? Or again, commander 1 turn earlier? Like that's what... Would I rather play Plaxcaster Frogling, or would I rather get to my commander a turn earlier? This deck to me seems like it would rather get to its commander 1 turn earlier. Like we have... Also, Felix Royale, thank you for the 2 years in a row at tier 1, my friend. Welcome back to the dog home. I don't know Stonebrow off Dome, so probably yes. Or like... Wow, that is clownery. When it comes to things like Plaxcaster, and this is gonna seem like a straw man, okay? But when I look at Plaxcaster Frogling, my immediate thought is, would I rather play Plaxcaster, or would I rather ramp to my commander or play stock up? Yeah, the issue with ramp is that getting early rules, but I don't really have plays beyond 5 mana, then it might behoove you to put in some plays that are beyond 5 mana. Like, let's look at what seasons you have. So Gathering only says you control. Season of the Burrow will either make you 1,000,000 guys, or recur one of your engines that got removed, or remove a ton of stuff. That seems useful to me. Season of Weaving will either draw you 5 cards, or make you token copies of your creature engines, or you can bounce, if your opponent's board gets too out of control, you can bounce it. And so I think there's room for this curve to go a little bit higher here, and we can maybe trade, because like 1/10 of our deck is competing with the commander. I get why you want to do it, because increasing savagery does look very, very fun to cast. Like, I'm not totally sold on Wandering Emperor. I think Wandering Emperor is in the deck because we're trying to triple dip on 1,000,000 different things. And like, for sure, you cannot convince me that Argent Dias, like that it's better to have Argent Dias than it is to ramp into our bigger plays more quickly. Yeah, fuck that dog. Oh, that's all the sideboard. Okay. Okay, so stuff. I'm just gonna give you a list of stuff I think that could stuff I think could become other things. Not stuff that are necessarily bad, but stuff that could become other things and you would still be happy. I think Sporeback Troll, Spike Weaver, Plaxcaster Frogling, Pippin, Bulwark Ox, Vastwood Fortification, and Wandering Emperor. I think these could become other things. Why Pippin? Because he's just solid. He's not he doesn't strike me as anything particularly special. You take that back about my goated favorite Hobbit. He's fine. He's fine. He's not bad. But like me, again, I am a very big, when I play Commander, I want to play the thing and have the big funny thing happen. I'm not as big a fan of like having to assemble to build four different Lego towers and then put the Lego towers together and then have the big thing happen. Because really, what feels bad is this play pattern of nothing happens until turn 3. Because I tend to. But if your table plays Hacky Sack Commander, that's totally fine. But like here I am again, fucking. I mean, I guess I could have. So I could have Hopeful Initiated and then Rishcard if I knew ahead of time I wasn't going to get my fucking lands, and then I can play Kroos on curve. But trying to play this game plan on curve really does not seem like it to me. It really does not spark joy for me. We can nils. We get to goad one thing from each player. We can Verity Circle, which is like draw 4 cards. We can Thrumming Bird. Another thing I'm not totally sold on is the lack of protection in a deck where our job is to be the most annoying person our table has ever met. Because it seems to me like if Kroos is the one who gets defenestrated, the entire table is extremely happy. It goes from, we're all goated and this guy's drawing 1,000,000 cards to, we all have 1,000,000 big creatures. And so that does bring up in the estimation. Maybe that's what allows Frogling and Sporeback Troll to survive, but I'm not convinced it allows Sporeback Troll to survive because it would require us to delay Kroos by a turn. So that makes me believe less in Sporeback, less in Spikeweaver, even less in Wandering Emperor. Less in Bulwark Ox. It really just makes me believe more in Plaxcaster Frogling. You recommended I cut half of the body armor section. Because your body armor is like a fucking box you found behind the Home Depot, dog. That's not on me. We can't say body armor, by the way, your removal costs 3 instead of 2. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, body armor? You picked up a fucking Tupperware and put it over your heart and hoped for the best. I think with the... Oh, there's an endgame fog. Okay. Yeah, my final recommendation on this deck, Cairo, I think it's built well. I think it's very fun to play. There are a lot of things that are skating by on being kind of effective in multiple realms the deck wants to operate in. And I think there are a lot that you would be better off by just having one thing that did the thing you wanted it to do well. And I think that goes for every single tag in the deck. This deck seems like a savant exercise in double dipping and triple dipping on what one creature can do for me. And I think there are a couple examples in every single category of something where you would just be happier to have a good card draw spell. You would just be happier to have a good protection spell. But if that's the way you want the deck to be bad, I do support that. Counters is just never the brain poison that I have had, and so I will never understand you as a person. But I do support you regardless. I think this is pretty good. I think we're a little bit too Factorio pilled to be peak for me. But I think there's a lot of consideration that went into this. All of the pieces work well together. And thank God he remembered to have some ways to win the 1v1. So thank you very much for the submission. We're going to go back to the ad break and then take a look at Elikman's deck. But really, all this needs is go a little bit faster. Or maybe you're just a gaslighter. Because what scares me when I look at this deck is if I'm playing Kroos on curve, what the fuck happens to me if I lose Kroos? Like if I play him and they go like, oh, I've played against this deck, don't let him do that shit. Bang. And if you are a good enough manipulator that that never happens, cool. I love lying. I love lying. Well, it's not about attacking. It's about like, what if I get collateraled by a board wipe? What if somebody goes, oh, my creatures are really big. I'm going to shoot Kroos before they do it. Right, but that brings us back to your body armor is like mostly paper. Like you have paper mache body armor. And that is what I mean. That is what I mean by this is an exercise in double dipping and triple dipping, and it is limiting the deck versus having a couple cards that are just A plus at the one job they have. That is my recommendation. You do not have to take it, but I think you are rocking paper mache body armor, you are rocking paper mache card draw, and it looks very cool. I do not think it stands up to real pressure. In your individual play group, it may work though. We're going to do a quick ad break, and then it is Alec Man time. Terrence, yeah, for custom cards, we are going to we're going to be opening up secondary rounds of paid slots and free slots, but it depends on how quickly we get through them. Because the problem that's been happening is we have been trying to speed up the review process in general. And we've been mostly failing. And so if we can get the review process faster, we'll be opening up more slots per stream. If they kill Kroos, don't you just have to pivot into Bant counters? I tried to hand out the guns, now I'll use them. You can soft pivot into that, but to make them work with Kroos, we've picked a lot of the weaker counters cards. So we can't just pivot into Bant counters and be like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so powerful, because we're running fucking graft cards. We're running Graft and Shield Broker and Gideon's Avenger. So we can still do Bant counters, but it is not as simple as, oh, Kroos died, now I just kill you with my big guy. We can start putting the counters on our creatures, but it's gonna be super weak. Donger, no, we cannot do your deck today. We can schedule you probably for sometime next week, but this stream is already behind schedule, so we cannot extend today's stream. In the future, make sure you are paying attention to the stream announcements channel, because I've been asking people to tag me in Dear Malltown about the Marble deck reviews for a couple weeks now. Cobalt, I think the card you're thinking of is one this deck already has, which is a 3-mana card that checks the top 6 of your library whenever you commit a crime. And they just have that. Where's the motherfucker? Free Strider Lookout. This son of a bitch. Do you only review decks if someone pays? Mostly. We do free deck reviews one day a month to make up for the fact that people are paying me for the most part, but the demand for paid reviews is so high, and this is my job, and so for the most part, yeah. Yeah, the crime cards in Magic suffer from, generally, if you commit a crime, you've already cast something good. They did not design the commit a crime payoffs with the idea of, what if you did a crime but it helped them? Like, they would have to come up with a different mechanic called, like, when you commit a Robin Hood, which is committing a crime, but the person you committed it on enjoyed it. And yes, I did recommend Patrolling Peacemaker. I do think that's a card that should 100% go in. And I think, but like really for this deck, all it needs is a few of the cute pieces should become either larger Haymaker cards or should become just straight up counter spells. Because we're trying to have everything, like everything in the deck has 3 jobs, which is not super sustainable. It's very cute, but it's not super sustainable. Like fucking this one, my god. My god, bro. 1-man instant speed. I'm holding it up. I'm holding it up. It's very easy to gaslight with this deck because your board is not the threat. You're making everyone else's board scary. I am so happy for you that your playgroups cannot think more than one interaction ahead at a time. Cairo, no shade to you. I wish one day that I got to live in this world. My response would always be, oh, why don't we just kill Kroos? Like, I have not played with a single pod that would ever look at a Kroos deck and be like, obviously, we got to get the guy crosses pumping up, huh? They would look at me and be like, oh, what's doing the goading? They wouldn't even read my cards. They would go, what's doing the goading? And I would go, I don't know, maybe this guy, and then they will shoot him into space. I will say the best this deck has ever done was with the 2 literal children at the table. Talk about burying the goddamn lead. Deck's a masterpiece, yeah. I'm goddamn Machiavelli himself. I bully children. You couldn't have got that. Batman could not have pulled that shit out of me. The political premise of this deck is I trick children? What, do you bring a bag of candy to the table with you? Come on, man. Yeah, like, okay, so that's why I think the paper mache body armor has probably not gotten you yet, is because you're playing with people who are not approaching the game tactically enough for the politicking to matter. A bag of candy would work on me. All right, you got to get in Cairo's pod then. All right, we're moving on to Elikman's deck. We are looking at a Sultai Graveyard deck, please not Taval. The goal is to be a creature-heavy toolbox, which I'll outline a more in-depth mechanical primer. The issue I find with this deck is, well, what I outlined in Dear Maldhound. That one time you told me the deck was probably too fiddly. For reference, I had the deck looked at by Elk and later Veggie Wagon. I think I like where it's at mechanically, but I worry about the vibes it projects when playing more casually with friends, and arguably more importantly, according to WotC's bracket system rules as written, this is my strongest and highest bracket deck due to the numbers of tutors it plays. Despite the fact the game plan is very bracket 3, make a big board of tokens or creatures and beat people to death, it doesn't have a single game changer. So I'm hoping you'll be able to resolve this dissonance and let it settle comfortably into bracket 2 or maybe bracket 3, but frankly, I'd prefer to keep it at a 2 if possible. Okay, sight unseen, flatly, if you want this to settle comfortably into bracket 2 and feel like a bracket 2, cut the tutors. If you are running a bunch of tutors, it's not a bracket 2 game plan. Or mindset, I should say. Like, oh, here's the thing. I'm not even looking at chat right now because I know you're going to go like, oh no, but it's more complicated than that. It is not. If you are worried about the vibes, if you are worried about people thinking it is more powerful than it actually is, you must accept randomness into your heart.
wanting to have a great degree of control over the cards you are playing is a bracket 3 mentality. Whether or not we're like, oh, combat damage is better at bracket 2 than it is at bracket 3, if you're trying to be assured about the path your deck is going to take through the game, that's bracket 3. And if you want it to be a bracket 2 mentality, you have to approach it with whatever I play is going to make me happy. And it's not because I am Yu-Gi-Moto Destiny drawing it. You have to come with it an open heart and go, I got a ton of stuff in here. Anything I can hit will make me happy. And that does kind of create the problem. Yeah, drawing a card is the same as tutoring a card if you love all of your cards equally. That's the bracket 2 mindset. That's the bracket 2 mindset. If you love all of your cards equally, every card you draw is you tutoring something. We got to get you there instead of, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, yeah, we got to get you there right now. Oh boy, no. No. Yeah, like Fauna Shaman, not a game changer. You keep one. Lotus Light, 5 mana tutor, yeah, go off. 5 mana tutor, yeah, go off. Dog person, I don't want to derail Elikman's deck review, so the one thing I'm going to tell you for a dragon deck, pay attention to your curve. Make sure you have enough little creatures that make you mana to play all of your big expensive creatures. Alright, so we got 38 lands. We have... yeah, we got quite a lot of tutors. What does our commander even do? During each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards. Oh, so it's soft Underworld Breach, but you can't combo. And if you have stuff ETB from a graveyard, you can put counters on Kotus. I hate to redirect you to Tumblr, but like, what's our nefarious? We got Hermit Druid, Grizzly Salvage. Check top 4, put them in. Yeah, man, like, oh, we got Grist in here. We got Unearth cards. Yeah, okay. Every tutor is cleared by browsing 4chan for 5 minutes. You want a graveyard toolbox? Here's half your deck. Now, the problem with this is based on the type of analysis paralysis I have watched you get into, you may not be ready to traumatize yourself. You may not be mentally prepared to traumatize yourself because you may just like, you may see that many cards and then just freeze on options. So ideally, you would go traumatize, pass, and on everybody else's turns, you figure out what you want to bring back. But I think we're going to have some similarities with the rest of... yeah, we have Lord of the Forsaken 2, we have Sidisi, we have Nyx Weaver, we have Skull Prophet. Ogulus is cute. Manifest Dread every turn is a way to mill a little bit more. Mill equal to land, Satyr Wayfinder, fucking Hedron Crab. Okay. Okay. First recommendation is the same thing I recommended to Wolf. I think you have built this deck not to win, not to even effectuate an actual mechanical game plan. You have built this deck to put as many things on the stack in a turn as possible. And I think that is a mindset that exists outside of the bracket system. We can never make that fit into, is that bracket 2, is that bracket 3, is that bracket 4, because that deals way more with how quick are you as a pilot, how funny are you as a person. Because you know what makes this deck work? It's not a card, it's being able to shortcut game actions in a way that makes people laugh. someone who is really good at this, and I don't think they publish Commander gameplay, but it's Nile Joan Rivers. She is so fucking good at that. She has this it's like a Yoshimaru Francisco Partners deck, and it has a Lurrus companion. She has like a million different things she can do on her turn. All of her turns, snappy, and she's like fucking, like ad libs that rappers do. She'll grab something out of the graveyard, be like, bloop, and then passes. That is what's going to make this deck work. You don't need a card, you need an improv lesson. So what I would recommend first and foremost is if you want to make it less fiddly, you should abandon a few of these like mill 1, mill 2 engines for Traumatize, for Singularity Rupture, for Glimpse the Unthinkable. We can't be thinking small. Niall played a sick Boros deck on Guild Pack recently. She did exactly what you said. Yeah, go watch that. Yeah, she has very effective turns. They're very concise, and she shortcuts in ways that are like, it is difficult for me to explain concisely. But she's very, very good at, rather than explaining, or like what I would do for this type of deck is I would just say, Kotus, I can cast stuff from grave. I would grab the creature I wanted to cast, and I would go, this guy's back, fuck these guys. The thing was that I wanted to be creature heavy to lean into what Kotus cares about, which is being creature heavy. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think Kotus cares about creatures. I don't think Kotus cares about having 44 creatures. Like, bro is not lurking predators on a body. He cares about you having creatures in your graveyard, and he cares about you having other things to exile from your... If this said you may cast a creature spell by exiling 3 other creature cards from your graveyard, then yeah, I'm on board. You need 60 creatures in this fucking deck. But you're telling me if we have 40 creatures and you cast Glimpse the Unthinkable, you're not going to hit a creature? I mean, that's why they're crack smokers and I'm the dealer, baby. You do need to have a lot of creatures. Like, you couldn't go down to 20 creatures. But the idea that you need 44 is what's untrue. And maybe there are other things in here, like Sir Conrad will benefit a lot from you being at 44 versus 30. But your commander is going to function on 30. You'd probably want 35. Like, I'm not saying you go down to none. I'm saying, like, we can move 1 or 2 around. Particularly if you want to do tokens, Key to the City seems a little weird. Do we have any, like... Oh, you little rat. I will say, this one... Okay, it's a discard outlet, but you don't get to mana cheat, right? What are we... The biggest payoff of having a discard outlet would be Wonder goes in the grave? What else has to be discarded? Dakmor, maybe? That's only Dredge 2. And again, not saying it's a bad card. Grist would like getting discarded along with Dakmor. So that's 2 cards in the deck. Okay, there's a difference. Grist does not mind getting discarded. Oh, the other Grist. Okay, Grist likes it. I do. All right, so is it Grist's ultimate? I think we're way too fucking deep in the sauce if this is the justification we're using. So we can discard Grist, or like I could just cast Grist and cast one of the other 8 million creatures in my graveyard if I cast Traumatize. So let's talk about what I don't think you need. I don't think you need Lord of the Forsaken. I don't think you need Floral Evoker. I don't think you need Aftermath Analyst. I don't think you need Deathrite Shaman. I think you actively don't need Spore Frog. I do not think you need Rakshas's Bargain. I do not think you need the Final Fantasy meld, but I'll let you keep it because haha Booby God. I don't think you need Satyr Wayfinder. I think Fauna Shaman is one of the tutors that's going to get you in trouble. I do not think you need Polluted Cistern, because this is only 1 life for each card type, which is much, much worse than Sir Conrad the Grim. Why the Floral Evoker? Because it's just, I put 1/1, you said tokens was the thing we like, and you have a guy that gets a little bit stronger on landfall and is otherwise a discard outlet in a deck where discard outlets are not very good. And I'm comparing all of these to how much do I like this versus how much do I like a 2-mana spell that mills me 5 turns worth of mill. Like I would rather just glimpse the unthinkable and then start playing my cool guys instead of spending more and more turns trying to slowly set it up. Which is why I say things like Satyr Wayfinder. Like Tival's Judgment, dope. Cards are going to be leaving your graveyard all the fucking time. And then the thing I dislike about Spore Frog is if you are in bracket 2 and you are going to loop Spore Frog, that feels like angle shooting 9 times out of 10. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying an international court would send you to prison because you played Spore Frog. But in the bracket where we all go, we're not tutoring that much. We're not running game changers. We're probably not even running any combos. If you sit down and you're like, yeah, this is my little frog that says your turn didn't matter and I'm going to play him 7 times. It's another thing that's not tight within the bracket system, but I do think it is. So what else can we get going here? There's another, I don't think it's Uchbenbach. Yeah, absolutely not. The ancient one, I don't even think this is good because I think your curve is too responsible. Yeah, do we have the big fatties to dump in? I don't think we have enough Chunguses. Parsival, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Okay, so it's part of a soft combo. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I'm just not sold on it. Let me see how it actually runs. Look at that. We have no mana acceleration. Hex Trend, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Doghouse. All right, we got no mana acceleration. I fucking hang out. Hermit Druid, threateningly. Command Tower. Hermit Druid. This is a basic land, right? How we putting Nyx Weaver up with this shit, man? We can't. This is what I'm saying. We can't be asking Nyx Weaver to show up to the YMCA basketball game with fucking LeBron. And we have other things that are on LeBron's level. So we get a basic to hand. Now we have 15 fucking cards in our graveyard. Versus like Nyx Weaver is like, ooh, we get 2 back. Ooh. 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 Now I play Cotis. And I can Hermit Druid again. Pack that shit up. 33 cards. So now we're set for the game. So what I want is more cards that are going to make you set for the next 5 turns versus, I think if you talk about my deck's too fiddly, it's too fiddly because every turn you are introducing new information. That is what we fix. We have a setup turn in which you introduce all of the information you need, and then the rest of your turns are utilizing that information. Pretend I can spell. Pretend I can spell. That is going to make the deck infinitely less fiddly. Versus if you get into a situation where, let's pretend this is not Hermit Druid. Actually, it works with Hermit Druid. If I'm going, I have Nyx Weaver on board. I have Skull Prophet on board. I have Hermit Druid on board. Pretend this is Skull Prophet. Every turn is going to be, maybe my graveyard's empty. Okay, I'm going to tap this guy. 2 things go in grave. All right, well that's fuel, but I can't reanimate them. Now I'm going to Hermit Druid. Okay, I got 1 guy, I have the fuel, but I don't really have the mana to cast him. Let's see if I get anything with Skull Prophet, and then 2 more cards come because I missed the Nyx Weaver thing. And then finally, now you go, Aftermath Analyst, that's the hit. I'll exile these. Well, I don't want to exile the lands because I might be able to get them back with Aftermath Analyst, so I'm going to do Terra Sunder. And then do I want another land? I'll keep Lord of the Forsaken. That's so many choices we had to make versus if on turn 2, I glimpse the unthinkable once, I already have all of these cards in my graveyard. And then that planning can be done on someone else's turn, and then my whole turn can just be, I'm getting this guy back, bloop. And then you're done. Life could be a dream, bro. So that is the number 1 fix to fiddliness, is rather than putting more engines in your deck, figure out the thing you want the engines to produce, put in a big fucking overhead slam that does that. And I realize you want the engines. I realize this is we have not built a race car, we have built a luxury cruiser. We want a smooth ride. And we want to have all these triggers. But if you've shopped this deck around to the various fixers to try to make it feel better, I think that means there's some type of problem. And I don't think the problem is mechanical. I think you are mechanically achieving what you want to achieve. But I do think the deck drags its feet a little bit. And if the deck drags its feet, I think we cut the least impressive engines for more things that are just like, I want my graveyard full, please. Like, obviously, we're never cutting Hermit Druid. But, I think Laced Prowler doesn't have to be here. Floral Evoker doesn't have to be here. Let's go in Tagger. and see if we have other options. That's true. It is just an ETB. I don't think Laced Prowler has to be here anyway. How much do we have to pay into Drown in Dreams for this to matter? It's twice X, so we probably need... I mean, if we want it to be 10, that's an 8 mana spell. Fuck that. I mean, fuck, you could do Court of Cunning. And just promise people, I'm only gonna mill myself. You have cut your losses. Again, that's 6 mana, so it's a little bit hard to do. This is only mill 4. Feet Swallower. Thought Collapse is not enough. How else can we get this happening bigly? Whoa. Whoa, is there a reason we don't have near div? I realize I'm recommending a different engine, but like card draw engine, big creature, mill engine. Competes with Codas, which is a little bit But compared to things like Nyx Weaver, right? Or compare this to Skull Prophet. Oh my god, fucking Tome Scour, dude. Fucking Tome Scour. 1 mana, mill 5? I'm freaking it. I'm freaking it instantly. No, I think we do Singularity Rupture. Tunnel Vision's fucking ridiculous. 6 mana Hermit Druid. Why is Cathartic Adept looking at me like that? Because they're the devil, bro. You know why. I want my big millies. I want my big millies. Sweet Oblivion does not beat our engines by enough. Memory Sluice, if our board's wide enough, could do something. But I'm not totally convinced it will. Okay. So we really do not have a lot of the big ones, which means you get to keep a lot of your little engines. We're not mono blue. You could do Mesmeric Orb as well, yeah. That would make the table really fucking mad at you, but it would work. Let me see if there's a different tag for this. Ah, is Maddening Cacophony any player? Nah, this is opponents only. No, 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 no. Be really funny if you ran a value brain freeze. I don't think Altar of the Brood is going to do too much for you. Malt, can you get rad counters on yourself? Yes. If we do, doing like Mothman isn't going to do that much for us, but we can get rad counters on ourselves. Yeah. So the thing is, Harold and Bob is the same, like, we don't want to pay 3 mana for an engine. I want to pay 2 to 5 mana to just fully set up my graveyard. And maybe not fully, but I'd like to do it in such a way where I don't have to keep doing this turn after turn after turn. Seems like a good top end boy right here, Vort Vclex. You're already the table villain. This is mill 10. Yeah, it's for 13 mana, but who's counting? We have Shigeki already. Do we have old stick fingers? This seems highly relevant for our type of graveyard forward creature heavy deck. We missed Old Man Sticky. So I think Old Stick Fingers can do it. He's probably going to break parity on a lot of our mill engines. He's going to deterministically get way more graveyard fuel in. And this is another thing where if you get him on like turn 6, rather than trying to combine 3 different engines to get a play together, you just go, fuck it, tap 6 mana, I play Old Stick Fingers, ba 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 ba, I pass, and then next turn, you've gone into your Mind Palace, you have figured out the line, and then you make it happen. Yeah, I do want to qualify that statement with, this is a bracket 2-ass pick. I am trying to move you away from a highly, highly effective deck to a deck that is going to have good vibes. I think that like Buried Alive is the better card. I think that Old Stick Fingers is going to help free you from this analysis paralysis because you can just go, fuck it, tap out, go ahead, and then plan a big turn next time. I dislike that it's 3 mana. As an engine, it's not the worst, but I dislike how much it costs. Also too expensive. I think we may be limited to like Traumatize, Cut Your Losses, Glimpse the Unthinkable. I wish there was OTAG Big Mill. That's what I need. I need OTAG Big Millies. That's true. Doom Whisperer is a break glass in case of emergency card. Boy howdy. Boy howdy, what a fucking card this would be in the deck. You would... Oh, it's Surveil 2. I thought it was Pay 2, Surveil 1. Alright. Pay 2, Surveil 2 is much better. I do think Out of the Tomb should probably be lateraled for a different engine. Like, okay, we're trying to force this to happen, okay. But between like Nyx Weaver, Wayfinder, even Life from the Loam, like Skull Prophet, Shigeki has the regrowth going for him too, but even like Aftermath Analyst, Hedron Crab, like all these little engines, Out of the Tombs is going to beat them over time. Consuming Aberration is opponent, so it cannot work for us. We have Colossal Grave Reaver. I think the only other one we could pick up is like Angel of Suffering. And then that becomes, hey, if you hit me, you just fuel my game plan. But I think you try that. And I don't want to just... I can feel the stock up recommendation is burning its way through my chest right now because there's things where I want you to play with the fun cards. And if you just play with the little piecemeal mill cards to try to find the fun cards, I think it slows you down. So I'm debating, yeah, there's like Fact or Fiction. I want to reduce the number of decisions, and I want to reduce the number of unique triggers we have to resolve every single turn. Ooh, this could be an interesting soft finisher. Season of Loss, you can do lose X. X is the number of creature cards in grave. We probably need to stay at 40 or above for that. Thought Lash is Exile, but good thinking. But isn't that the fun of decks like this? So Lupus, it is the fun for you, but it is important to consider if we're trying to play bracket 2 or if we're trying to play with people we don't know, even if a deck is fair and we have fun with it, if it's mandating that we take up 80% of the possession time like if 80% of the speaking is being done by us in a given game, that is a negative. You should enjoy the sound of your own voice at least a little bit, but the problem that I was presented with for this deck was not, hey, it doesn't work. It was, hey, it's really, 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 really fiddly, and the turns take too long. And so I'm trying to make the turns simpler. I'm trying to make it do the same thing, but do it without having to solve a riddle at the beginning of every upkeep. So you know what? I would turn the Cistern into this. I would turn the Cistern into this thing, and then that way you can either use it for card draw or you can use it to finish the game off if you've traumatized. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this dog shit. Hold on, I'm gonna do this old school. Defending player. Is only on combat damage. Mill 12. Mill 20. Do we need Rawl? No, because we can already do this for the most part. Like we could, maybe it lets us get Glimpse the Unthinkable back. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Here's a Jace. Here's a Jace. You activate it for 0 every single time. This is a mill engine I can get behind. Literally. This is a bracket 2 mill engine. I slap this for 5 fucking mana and then I mill 10 every turn. We did recommend cut your losses already. So what will probably need to happen, Alec Man, is your non-creature tutors right here should become these big mill spells. 1 or 2 of your little engines should probably become Dork Ramp so that you can pay, because I'm fucking up your curve a little bit. That's part of being bracket 2, is caring a little bit less about the curve. But I'm fucking up your curve a little bit so you can play big, dumb, stupid shit. Big, dumb, stupid cards. So we fuck up the curve a little. We get a few more dorks that I can play with my commander to pay for the big, dumb, stupid shit. Rest can stay. It'll rip. Kill the frog. Please. Hard cut suggestions. Yes. Okay, hard cut suggestions. Laced Prowler, Floral Evoker, Polluted Cistern, Fauna Shaman. Satyr Wayfinder, Rakshasa's Bargain. Once you get the meld off, probably 1/2 of this meld, probably the green half. Until you get it off, you keep both. Spore Frog. Deathrite Shaman. Nyx Weaver. I don't believe that much in Grist. I know she's a creature. I know she's a creature in the graveyard, but I don't think we have enough insects to keep this mill train going. And then the non-creature tutors here. So everything but Lotus Light Dancers. For considering. Yeah, I agree with these cuts. Can't put this back in. Yeah, I do not think any of these come back in. So outside of outside of the first couple recommendations, Jace Memory Adept, Out of the Tombs, Season of Loss, if you want to be really funny, Strong Brutish Thespian. Outside of that, I would begin putting in more mana dorks. Just for these, like, because I'm suggesting 5 or 6 cards that are truly gonna fuck up your curve and make it weighted weirdly. And so then I would just be on like, hey, Birds of Paradise, where you at? Hey, Gwenna, where you at? I can't even untap you, but you tap for 2 mana, and that's awesome. And then Llanowar Elves, that whole business, I would fill in the rest of the gaps with those to make sure you can cast all the new stuff. Oh yeah, another fun one you could play with is Incarnation Technique. I like that from Andronicus because now we have more weight to throw around. This is a very like bracket 2. Hey, what's up? I'm demonstrating. We all get to do stuff. Oh my god, I brought back Colossal Gravereaver. What happened? How did that get there? Oh my god. Yeah. Like, as far as mana per mill goes, it's not very efficient, but that's because it comes with the reanimation baked in. So those are my final recommendations. I hope you enjoy it. I'm putting this in Containment Zone Benevolent because I think you got it dead on for the bracket system, and the issues with it just exist outside the actual power level of it. So I hope that this helps. Tell me how the changes went, because this was a very like, we weren't making it better or worse. We were trying to make it dance differently. So please let me know if it was successful. If it was unsuccessful, I want to update my own assumptions. But I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for submitting. And that is going to be the final deck of today. So we're going to find somebody to raid into. Decked Out is live, so we are going to raid the homies at Decked Out. Hit them with the indestructible Justin rant. Thank you all for being here. We'll be live again tomorrow with 3-3 Elk reviewing custom cards, and I should be live with a short later. Well, not live. You should get a short later tonight as well. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate your generosity, and please remember to stay toxic. YouTube, that's just going to be it for us, but I will be back again tomorrow.